I still look glorious. Oh yeah, didn't I change my appearance after last session? Like this is new, so I should show the audience.
Maybe.
I think I updated my transmog between sessions. He's beautiful. Got weird tentacle shoulders that come from the raid at the end of this expansion, but fuck it, I already got them, so.
What is happening?
I think they're from the end of this raid.
Oh.
What are you trying to figure out?
Sorry, I just got like, that's okay. Sorry, I just I just got added to a Discord. What's it called? I just got added to a Discord for a thing I was backing on Patreon, and it just started flooding me with notifications of every person joining, and all. I was like, what is happening? Please stop.
Oh, like phone notifications?
No, on my desktop. So like I have the little thing in WoW, so
do you have Discord. Do you have push notifications on desktop?
No, I have it. I have the in-game thing where it shows who's talking.
Have you picked up
Discord.
all the local quests?
Yes.
Let's start moving.
Yes, I have. Yeah, I have like a thing in the top left corner of that shows me and you, or whoever's in the voice channel, so that way I can see when I'm muted. And if I get a Discord notification, it pops up there, and I normally don't because I have every channel muted. But this one was brand new, so it just started filling my screen with it, and I couldn't see any of my information because it was just constant notifications of like, new person joined a channel.
So notifications across all of Discord will show up in your game?
Yes.
How is that ever useful? That sounds irritating as shit.
Well, it's useful if if you're playing alone and you don't really care about what's happening.
Yeah. I don't like the idea of that at all. Like, it's just flooding you with notifications that are irrelevant about every random server you're in.
Yeah, which is, I mean, again, if you use Discord, smartly, and you have it set up where like channels are muted, you only get notifications from certain things, then you're fine.
So does Discord show, for you, does Discord show like random things people say in Discords you're in? Like, is that a thing that it tries to do until you turn it off or something? Does it try to just do all
yes.
Discord notifications?
Yes.
Yeah.
Need something?
So by default, when you join
one monitor, people.
I guess. When you,
because if you have two monitors, you just like that. You don't need that shit. You just have Discord over there. You don't need notifications.
That's how I have it set up. I have my Discord on my far left.
Here's a page. I can
fly here.
Yeah. You got a flying scout on this quest. Where's the fourth page?
I don't have that.
Oh, here it is.
But it was too late. The survivors had scattered, each now forced to navigate this unforgiving.
So it's right up here. You gotta go around the wall. You can do it! I believe in you!
I'm coming.
Deuces!
No.
What is this objective? Rescue Kip? Who the fuck's Kip? Like from Futurama?
Wow. You don't remember Kip?
I remember Futurama.
That was Kif.
Oh, you're right, that is Kif. Kip is just a red... No,
you sound like Zap Brannigan.
Yeah.
That was the joke, right?
What, me misremembering the name of Kif?
No. In Futurama, the joke was that Zap Brannigan kept calling him the wrong name, right?
I don't think he had trouble with his name. I think it was mostly just that he always downplayed how incredibly... The ongoing joke was usually that he was just incredibly incompetent, and Kif was the one that was actually doing everything, and then he would take credit for everything. But I don't think he struggled with his name.
For some reason, I remember Kif going, like correcting him on his name. I don't know why.
I don't know. It's definitely a familiar joke, but I don't know if it was there.
interesting.
Just the smug asshole that would be a Zach Brannigan type of character, just continually refusing to understand what somebody's name is and being like corrected to their face, and then still saying the wrong thing again, like say the President of the United States. Got him.
It's not his fault. He's, 78 years old. I mean, most people his age or his target demographic are people in fucking elderly homes.
here in pleasure. Standing in the burning wreckage of a town and then misnaming it and then being corrected and still calling it the same thing over and over again.
See
My God.
There's an article where he's like, I don't understand why people don't like me at the coronavirus press briefings. It must be my personality. It's like, sure.
I mean,
sure.
That's not like saying it's my personality isn't wrong. I guess.
It's not. It's like the most shallow understanding of your fucking problem.
It's so vague.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah. Where you're like, oh, it's just maybe I'm too abrasive. No, sir, you are literally a fucking moron, and people don't like you.
But not just any moron, like a hateful one.
Well, yeah, but you can't say that. Not until he's not president anymore. Then you can say all the bad things you want.
No, you can. It's really easy to say things about him. He can't stop you. He'll just act like he will, which is very fascisty, and then no one will call him on that.
I can't wait till we get a springtime for Trump.
A circle of spin.
Circle of spin.
Yeah. This is tripping me out because I'm really aware right now about how these quests just become world quests later. I'm just doing things right now that I do on my rogue all the time, but I've done them like dozens of times on my rogue.
So you're doing them like efficiently?
Yeah, well, it's just like I'm like, we're fighting these things in this way? Wait a minute. Like this quest just comes back as a maintenance thing that I have to do every day if I want to grind rep.
Cool. I look forward to it.
Yeah.
Because I'll be doing that.
Are you gonna try to unlock all the races?
Yeah.
I finally got it, Andrew. I finally got the invitation to the fox hunt, which you get by doing.
What does that mean?
You have to do that one withered thing where you get an army of withered around you, like Pikmin, and you have to go through this entire dungeon with them. You have to do that over and 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 over again, and then randomly you'll suddenly get an item that's like called the Tauren invitation, which clues you into a fox hunt, and that's how you get the fox mount.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But first I have to do. Yeah, but first I have to do a daily. I have to do get like garrison quests, climbing class hall quests for like a week. There's a long string of back-to-back ones that you have to do. So all you do is just click the button and then wait 12 hours over and over again. It's kind of annoying. But since I've done that, I've now been grinding for the fox kit, which is the cosmetic fox mount. I mean, cosmetic fox pet, because I already have the fox hunter pets, because all you do is just tame them. It's easy. And then the whole
the
5-part fox bullshit will be complete. But I was talking about this in my Patreon.
This fox mount.
Yeah, I want to take the stupid screenshot and send it to Marty, and that's pretty much it. It's all an elaborate joke for a thing that I won't even commit to most of the time because I don't really like cosmetic pets that much. And on top of that, the fox mount doesn't fly, so I guess it might be useful next expansion for a while. I'll probably ride around it on the next expansion until I unlock flying in it. But for now, I'll like immediately stop using it because I'll be too annoyed at not flying to actually spend time with it.
Wow.
Such is how it goes. I just completed like 5 quests. Goddamn.
Yeah, I'm about to turn in like a handful of
turn these
right
guys
now.
in. But I was talking about this in my Patreon video a bit, but it's really fucking funny thinking about the context for all these unlocks I'm doing. So like, let's go down this train of thought here. So you unlock the Vol'Dun by saving an entire country of enslaved foxes from evil snake slavers. and then completing so many tasks that you get exalted with them, and then they join the horde. So you like change their entire way of life and liberate all of them and just make it just all around do great things for them, right? And then for the fox hunter pets, you tame them, and like if you go by old school hunter logic, you befriend them and you take care of them and you feed them and like you care for their wounds, like it's all like wholesome and shit. Then for the hunter mount, for the fox mount, you infiltrate, you intercept a message about how they're going to do a fox hunt. You spend several days of quests slowly investigating the context of the hunt and where it's happening and who's doing it and everything. Then you infiltrate the hunt, and then you trick them by pretending you're going to be part of the hunt. But then you actually save the fox, and then out of loyalty, it decides it volunteers as your mount basically, and it joins you on your quest. And then you get the fox kit by going to, I think it's Vol'Dun with a fucking cataclysm ass place that I can't remember the name of. Balorad? Fuck it. And you kill 1,000 foxes.
Oh my god. Wait a second.
There are critter grade foxes in that area, and you have to kill them so many times because it has a 1 in 1,000 chance of dropping a pet, which is itself a fox kit. So you're murdering 1,000 foxes until you get a chance to steal one of their babies. One of these things is not like the other.
Whoa, wait a second.
It's not good. It's distressing, but it's made even worse by the context of all the other foxes that I get, including the player character. Like they're all like, you're helping foxes and befriending them and working with them, and it's all wholesome until one of them's really horrifying. Because the only way to get the orange fox cosmetic pet is to just murder helpless foxes. They're not even enemy foxes, or even like enemy like monster grade foxes. Like I think in this expansion or last expansion, I think there was neutral foxes that were like combat enemies. But no, they're fucking critters. So you one-shot them every time. And you have to kill 1,000 of them for them to drop one fox pet. So I've been doing that for fucking days. Like I've listened to several podcasts while just running in a circle and establishing my route of killing a bunch of foxes. And it's just, it's really morbid.
That sounds not good.
No, like, it's not great, but I'm committed now to the stupid joke. And it still fits the same dumb, like meditative time killer, like Zen trance mode that you usually play WoW in anyway in your free time. So it's just like, it's not that different.
I mean, it sounds very WoW. It's
just run in a circle and kill foxes forever. Ooh, this wrench has a quest for us.
It does. It's very Banjo-Kazooie like. Hello.
Yeah. You just give it eyeballs and a stupid pun name that's probably sexual. Wow, your voice fucking gave out hard on whatever setting you have.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My voice not good?
He's like, like I half heard 3 syllables, and it just cut the rest of it out.
That's... What the fuck?
It's like you yelled so loud that Discord didn't transmit it.
Oh, yeah, I probably was laughing and then looking away at the same time.
But yeah, like Trouser Snake.
Trouser Snake is a really good character design with a really sad game attached to it.
Yeah, but it's explicitly a penis joke. As there often is. Like that quest in Jet Force Gemini where you give that mole porn so that he'll let you into his slave mine.
Look, rare is a lot of things. And classy has never been one of them.
Yeah. Like you definitely give that mole porn so that he'll let you into his mines, which themselves are full of slaves, which is distressing.
Well, on the bright side, if you're giving them porn, it means they're not sex slaves?
Yeah. I guess. I don't... It's a distressing topic. But the, that has the, surprisingly, like, impactful writing of that. You get to go inside the cave, and you get to turn into a tribal. And when you are a tribal, you can talk to the mole that's in the cave, and he'll like. He kind of thinks that we're like buddies, like that we get along. It's like, this is working out for everyone, right? Like he doesn't think slavery is bad. Like
Yeah.
like he convinced himself that he's like one of the good ones or whatever as like the slave owner. And it's like, oh no, this is like a little too real actually. The way that people would be convinced that like slavery is like good for the people that are being enslaved or something, or that there's something like equal and like positive about it. It's like incorrect.
How? Just
well, because inherently humans like to think that they're good, and the easiest way to I'd be careful about turning those quests in because I might try to take you to the next location.
Yeah, that's why I was like, if you're going this way, I'm gonna trust you because you've already done it.
Yeah, whenever you turn quests in at the caravan, there's a decent chance that they'll try to take you to the next caravan spot. So whatever satellite quest that's nearby you want to do first.
I already brought some
things
people
to do. Dude, there's
kill.
god, when you're an herbalist, there's so many herbs around here. This whole
yeah, I bet.
This whole mountainy area, you just fly around in it, and everything is just herbs. And some of them electrocute you.
What?
It's one of the variants of herbs that's in Battle for Azeroth, is the ones that shock you. Can we not interact with these corpses because they're glowing?
You have to throw the stuff on it. Sprinkle the whatever.
Oh, it's up there. I was looking for like I was looking for there to be a button in the middle of the screen. I was like, is it hiding behind my pet bar again? Nope, I'm just stupid. Yeah, this is somewhat satisfying because it's just so fucking dense with the quest progress. Like,
yeah.
You take 2 feet and make progress in 3 quests simultaneously because they're all overlapping here. Like, water those guys, click on those guys, kill that thing.
Hey, look, I'm doing all of that at the same time.
You completed 12 quests. Wowie zowie!
Now get out of here.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. Dude, I'm done with that.
Oh, we're supposed to fix this fountain. Ah. Get out of here. Go on, get. But yeah, the context of getting the Fox kit definitely could have had a more positive context.
Nah,
I know there's a lot
like
of
the way it is.
Oh, we share progress on that.
We do. We share progress on all of it.
Well, I still need to water 2 more. I think the watering one's unique to us.
Nope. I need to water 2 more. I haven't watered any.
Oh, I've just been doing the whole quest for both of us.
I was killing and planting.
I see how it is.
Yeah.
You're the one that told me how to do it, and you hadn't even done it yet. It's funny.
No, I can't because for some reason I have a mod on that doesn't let me do it.
It doesn't let you click on them or something?
No, because it says like you're trying to perform an action that requires the Blizzard UI. I was like, okay, sure.
Oh, because the quest logs often feature the quest item as a button next to the quest log.
But normally I don't run into issues pressing it. So there was something weird
here
about
it is.
that one.
Akunda's Bite. See this blue plant here? That's the one that when you harvest it, it electrocutes you.
Oh, well, it does have bite in its name.
Yeah. One of the quests you get as an herbalist is to try to harvest 10 of them in a row without being electrocuted.
What? Like, why?
They just have a lot of those around. Ooh. Significant upgrade of many levels.
Oh no, this is...
These aren't shoes. I'm just wearing a band around my feet.
One day at a time, friend.
A band around
the
my
reservoir's
feet.
up top.
Yeah, it's the very tippy top.
Oh, there's the path.
Whoa. It's like a giant electric thing.
Oh, I'm not there yet.
No, I made that mistake too. Yep, this one.
There we go.
Wow.
Oh god. Kill. What was my... Think I almost talked about something that I forgot, which is all the time. Boop. Having a meltdown. Having a meltdown.
About a quest. Did it. We slayed the cobra. Is that it? It's a whole quest?
Yep. Just go up top and top and find out what's fucked up with the reservoir.
She gonna make us fight again.
Turns out it was a giant snake, a drain snake, if you will. Repeat that joke.
Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me.
Oh wait, no. Oh wait, no. That you weren't here for that joke. It's a new joke now. I'm creative.
Drain snake.
That was I was talking about drain snakes in Luigi's Mansion. So that's like, haha, you're a new person. This joke's new again.
I've done it. I've created a whole new joke.
Go carefully.
I think Stephanie was like, "This is my life. This is what Luigi likes to do," which is the goo Luigi that's in that game.
Poor
Player 2.
Poor
He just slides through drains like he's cleaning them or something, and like he's just a human drain snake. It's disgusting.
Oh.
And make progress on this food.
And we're out of here.
The temple is somewhere within those hills.
I like how we ride in the back of the caravan. That's cute. Hawaii.
Because we gotta be ready at a moment's notice.
Sure. All right, 1 second.
You never know when you're gonna get attacked.
Hold on
You're gonna get
a bit,
moitered.
team. It's about to get real bumpy.
This cannot be the only road we can take.
Oh, it's not. But you don't want to travel through the canyon. It's filled with nightmares.
Those only exist in the mind, not the dunes.
I promise they're very real and very dangerous. Not even the Sethrak step foot in the canyon. Dolly and Dot are my best friends. They pull
Alright.
my wagon through dunes of sand.
That looks
They have
okay.
small teeth
Not the
and they
best,
love
but
to
okay.
eat.
What is that screeching coming from your mouth?
Dot and Dolly like it when I sing. It's soothing.
Well, it makes me want to go back to my old ways.
Fine then. Dolly and Dot
Wow.
are my best friends. They pull my wagon through dunes of sand.
This must be the place. I can see a
This is a big
structure
one.
ahead.
Yeah, I've been spending like the past weekend and week trying to get my 3D printer working again, because fucking engineering is not my field of specialty, says the computer engineer. And
I'm
so
surprised it broke down so quickly.
well, I donated it, or not donated, I loaned it to a company that was that needed like a bunch of printers to print PPE masks or print PPE stuff.
What do you need?
And so it had I just gotten it back, and it needed to be basically tuned up. And so it needed to be tuned up because it had just been gone through like heavy use. And then it needed to get a firmware update, which caused a whole slew of fucking issues. And yeah, it's just been a mess. And so I've been spending the past God knows how long just trying to fix it. And now I just finished a print that worked. And it was like, oh, good. It's not the best, but it worked. And that's all that matters.
That'll teach you to never update anything ever again.
Until the next time I update it, because I have to.
That's a spooky, crazy temple back there.
It's very spooky.
Oh yeah, there's a coda.
A what?
Is it, or Kodo? That's what they're called, right? The Tauren Mount.
Oh yeah,
There's like
yeah.
a giant Kodo, and that's just floating in there. We need to save them. Because bad's happening. I think he's one of the Loa.
I don't know what that means.
The trolls worship the Loa, which are a bunch of like gods or something.
Like giant coda?
No, they're all different animals.
Oh,
Like there's there's a T-Rex and there's a giant turtle and stuff like that.
Because that would be funny if the trolls worship the mounts that the Tauren rode on.
I think they're basically in all 3 zones. Loa for days.
Loa for days.
And then if you unlock them as a mount, you'd be a Loa rider.
God.
Loa.
Oh God, that's a lot.
Duh. Get a little Loa. I feel bad. The fucking the troll with us was making fun of Mira for singing. And it's like,
yeah,
dick move. Jesus Christ.
That's why I was like, damn, what the fuck?
Yeah, they're like, what? They're like, what is that screeching coming from your mouth? It's like, what the? Do you not sing in Trollville?
I mean,
Zandalar?
Probably not.
Weird. But they're based on like Rasta. Why do they suck?
I mean, I don't, just because they took I'm pretty sure that they speak the way they do because LOL, it sounds funny, not, oh yes, culture, we love that thing.
Yeah, but being like, there's always cultural misunderstandings between groups, but having the misunderstanding being, what is singing is just a really weird fucking call to make.
Yeah, again, I don't know.
That giant ass turtle shell on your character, which is also made of hexagons, by the way. Hexagons!
Wait, what are you talking about? What turtle shell?
You conjure a shell over your pet with the defensive move.
Oh, that's his, yeah, that's his special ability.
That's
what I love about
I'm having a breakdown about the fucking Halo thing. This franchise, it's like a everything's cake moment. Like the meme where they keep cutting everything open and it's all like cake because people keep finding that they can use like, what's it called, to like make their cake look like anything. What's that? I'm really
sure
shit
we did
you
this.
Put on cake to decorate it.
It's sugar. That's all it is.
But it's got like a name, which I remembered earlier when I was talking to Stephanie, but now I can't say it right.
I forget. I remember Alex used it a lot. I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah, no, I remember seeing one of her completely insane like purple cakes that was like layered and weird. I'm like, that's not what cake usually looks like. That's fucking nuts. And yeah, like the fondant. There we go. I remember that the like my parents' like wedding cake, or my dad's wedding cake, was like just covered in weird texture stuff. That was that.
I don't get it. It doesn't. I don't know.
I don't even like normal cake that much. So
yeah,
so putting
like
worse stuff to decorate it is not a great change.
Not only do I not like cake, I don't want cake in the shape of something I like. Like that seems the exact opposite of what I want. I want the thing, does that mean like though? Cake.
Does that mean where they do like a sequence of people like cutting into various things that just are like a can of beer, a toilet paper roll, and so on, and they're all cake. And it's like,
have you seen the?
So like now I'm having an everything's cake moment about the fucking Halo thing.
About the rocks.
It's like, because I've been collecting the fucking Colin joining photos for years, and then to find out the franchise that I've been playing for like 20 years, like all of the Halos were always made of hexagonal columns. I'm like, oh my god, it goes all the way down. Everything's cake.
Yeah.
It's kind of a big reveal, just finding out like, by the way, Halos were always these. What? This is so specific.
I don't remember them.
This reveal being weird is so specific to me. I mean, we never gotten a good look at it at the inside of a Halo, like when it's destroyed or whatever. We just had Halo 1 where we saw the Halo like explode and one piece of it fly across the space to break the rest of it. It's probably not. It's probably bullshit.
Yeah, I think that's a 343 rewrite.
Someone made a
there's
dumb
no
art
way.
call. And it looks bad.
It looks awful.
It looks so fucking ugly. And it's like one of the only times I've ever seen someone do that ugly. Because like the whole point of the hexagonal column thing, whether it be basalt or artificial or whatever, is that it just looks neat. Like
yeah,
even,
they're really
like,
easy to make look clean and interesting.
Like even Mass Effect Andromeda was able to make them look neat. Because it's like by default they look neat, but Halo, bafflingly, they look so ugly. And it's partly that they're just like this really flat gray that looks like lower resolution than the rest of the game around it. Like it looks wrong because it doesn't communicate that it's metal. It just looks underdeveloped.
I'm pretty sure it's not intended.
But they also like they also straight up fucked up at like placing the columns so that they would look like basalt columns, because like part of the appeal is them all being like different heights. So you have this really cool like chaotic visual, but instead they're like, but they're also not like the concept art, because in the concept art they're all the same height. And so it's like, okay, those individual, like each area is just a series of blocks, and that chunk of blocks, they're all the same height within that area, but then different areas are different heights collectively. In the concept art, it's like 5 are this height together, and they're all conjoined with no seams, so the cracks that are supposed to be between each column aren't there. And then like a whole wall is this height, then behind that is another wall that's the same height, then behind that's another wall that's a different higher height, and it just looks strange. Because it's like the chaos that's supposed to be in that art isn't there, so it just looks like garbo. But then they also fucked up, because the whole point is that it's supposed to be under the terrain, and none of the actual in-game art conveys that. The concept art shows like, oh, if you eat away the terrain, underneath it is hexagons. They show like patches of like basically bald spots of dirt, where instead of dirt you see like hexagons leaking through. And you see like cliffs where clearly like the tops of all the columns are covered in rock and stuff like that. But in the actual in-game visuals, it just looks like there's a wall of columns in front of terrain. Like it was clearly added later, like a barricade or something. It doesn't convey the idea that's coming out of the terrain at all. Like they completely bungled that, if that's what they're going for. There isn't a single part of those visuals I saw that implies that they're coming out of the terrain. Fucking weird. Oh no, it's Butterflyville.
I don't know what that means.
This is,
so I'll believe you.
You'll know. You'll know when you're grinding Fox Rep. This area has a quest where you have to catch butterflies, and the only way to catch them is to really rapidly try to run up there and like right click on a tiny butterfly that's fluttering around in the sky. So it's really hard to click on it right. But here's the thing, it's not instanced. So so when you get here, you'll see like 30 players all camping out this open like oasis area, all trying to be the first one to catch each butterfly as they spawn, and they're just trickling in one by one. And like more and more people are showing up to do the quest, but the butterflies aren't showing up any faster. And every time somebody catches one, they're the only one that gets credit for that one, and then it's gone, and you have to wait for the next one to spawn. And they're just tiny, hard to click things. So at least this desperation moment. And like you're sitting there hoping that you have some kind of mobility cooldown that you can blow to quickly get to the butterfly. Like I had my grappling hook, and I was very happy to have my grappling hook. So I could quickly
like just like hoot.
Yeah, because between the goblin jetpack and the grappling hook, I could just like straight at whatever the butterfly showed up before anyone else could react. Because it just takes so long. Oh, that quest was torture. Every time it came up, I would avoid. Once I realized what it was like, I would avoid it at all costs. Until I got stuck in situations where I like had to do an emissary, and I needed my 4th quest, and that was the only one left or something. It was genuinely worth it to just get less reputation overall than it was to do that each day when it came up. Why can't I can't mount up. Oh, my pet's fighting something. What the fuck?
It's too far away.
You're like, my time has come. Done, eh?
I appreciate it. Thank you, weird Coda. Coda's like, you help me.
Meditate. Oh wow, I'm actually floating and meditating. You have to fight your inner demon. A little on the nose.
Too bad my inner demon's weak and crumpled under my sheer power. Also, my inner demon didn't have a pet, which is sad.
Name's Akunda. Akunda Matata. What a wonderful mount.
I did it. I leveled up.
Yeah.
112. So close.
I'm almost 113. My name is Akunda the Nimble, Serene, Courageous. My name remains unchanged.
Speak your true name. Hold on. I'll check the log.
You checking the log? I just picked one.
Akunda what happened?
We are all
I just went ahead and picked one.
Does it matter?
What can I do?
Too late. Who cares? I'll never know.
See what you can find out. I will not
Okay.
I think you're just claiming a title because every single person here is Akunda the Blah.
Ah.
But none of them are
Gotcha.
called Akunda the Tata, which is disappointing. It's Kunda the Hallowed, the Blessed, the Divine, the Revered, the Exalted, the Forlorn, the Sensible. They've got names. Stupid names.
Okay, so I guess we're done here.
There's more to be done. Bye!
Well,
Nope, there's pterodactyls up here. Just having a normal one with the pterodactyls.
I'm taking the long road around.
I'm gonna kill this rare spawn. It might kill me, actually. This may be a mistake.
I'm almost there. Hold on.
Oh no, I didn't go to the right place. I was like taking a side tour since you were gonna be a bit.
Oh.
Like, I'll just come over here and give it a shot.
Wait, I think I went the wrong way. Oh no, I'm gonna die! Oh,
That's
God.
bad.
Nope.
What, did you jump off
survived.
something?
Yeah.
Making some crucial mistakes here?
Making some crucial mistakes.
Dang. Oh, my pet's not in assist mode. It was just watching the fight. Great. Thanks, buddy, for just not helping.
I mean, it like that sometimes though. Ooh, a cutscene.
I'm on my way. One boss fight richer.
Where am I? What am I doing here?
Okay. Oh, every pot is a cutscene? No, no.
It
Okay.
sounds
Welcome to hell.
I was wrong. Some of the pots are bad.
Some are cutscenes, some are
Nope,
death.
this one's a cutscene.
but the king won't act without proof.
Please, Rakira, don't do this. You'll get yourself killed.
You know I must, Kaja. Duty before all else.
Immerse yourself
no.
in the lore. Would you like some more lore?
No, please, no more lore. Anything but lore.
Do you not find it alluring?
No. No.
You cannot command me.
Oh, okay. I like how this guy in front of me just touched the vase and a thing popped out of it. I was like, well, okay. Wait, oh shit.
It seems to be alternating between cutscenes and boss and enemies.
Yeah.
So, but everyone's on their own different part of the sequence. You like walk up to one that gives you a cutscene and somebody else gets attacked by it.
Okay.
Yep, that one's just
you
over
attacking
immediately.
me? Yeah, there's a condo, and he's like, "Yo," like what?
Condo.
He's a condo breaker.
Just condo. This space is for rent.
Where are the rest of the vases? I need more vases. I've killed all the memories. Thanks for the memories. Oh. Never mind. I found the last vase. Oh, this isn't the last vase. This is the 6th vase.
There we go. Sorry. So ends my awkward silence as I tried to finish the emergency dinner.
Emergency dinner. Make it sound like it's a lot more, you know, concerning than it actually is. It's just like, I just didn't have time to eat food before we started, but
Well, I try to cook dinner and stuff, but I have a few emergency microwavable things that I can quickly use when my schedule's like down to the wire.
yeah.
It's usually like when I have something scheduled with you or Bird, and it's like, I finished recording my hour-long episode at 6:55, and time to start the session at 7 o'clock or whatever the hell. And it's like, all right, garbage it is. But in this, I was keeping busy. My hands were keeping too busy, and my mouth was keeping too talky. So it still took me like 40 minutes to eat the tiny, like, pseudo pizza thing.
All right, done with the memories.
Even if it's okay. Only sweeter.
Oh.
There was
Okay.
once a Kodo, and then he's like, he poisoned it. Fuck. The end. It was really awkwardly told via the fragmented cutscenes because they were so short. But he's just like, you could not control me, and then he's like, yeet, and he just throws a bunch of poison in there. And then then the next cutscene was him drinking the poison and getting fucked up, and now he's like in a coma. And they're like, and the guy's like, I think the guy's like impersonating the god. That's a blue.
Yeah, he's like pretending to be the god, but he already killed the god or something, right?
Well, he's in a coma, being held by poison, and he's like pretending to speak for the god. Like only he knows what he says or something. It's like in remember Candyman from Fringe? He played a worm tongue in Lord of the Rings who was doing exactly that. Like this decrepit old king that couldn't speak or move for himself or whatever, and then he was speaking for him. They also did the same thing in in Attack on Titan.
Yep. They also did the same thing in Dr. Stone.
Because in Attack on Titan, he was just like asleep or something with his eyes open, and they were just speaking for him because he was a figurehead.
It's a really common trope in I don't know. I guess the idea is that there's it's always like a confidant too. It's always like some kind of really obvious
their
shady
steward
fucking
or something.
guy. Yeah. Gee golly, I don't understand why this clearly malicious person is speaking for the king.
I'd love to get into WoW, but just watching someone play looks insanely overwhelming and intimidating. Nah.
Yes. Don't ever try it. It's scary.
I mean, it is bad for you for a number of reasons, but the actual gameplay is just whatever. It's pretty straightforward. You just press your attack buttons on the things and look at your quests and figure out where to do them. It's overwhelming because you're watching somebody go fast at it, as opposed to when you're learning and you're like looking at all the things and figuring out what they say and stuff. You find out what all the buttons do on the screen by just highlighting them, and they just say what they do. And you start off with fewer of them.
Start off with a lot fewer of them.
Yeah, and the combat's so repetitive that the ones you have are mostly like burned into your brain by the time you unlock more of them. There's a reason why I played this game as my game.
You can just pay money and skip all the way to 120.
You can. Like, there's a reason why I just use this as my Patreon Q&A series, because I don't even have to pay attention to what's happening most of the time. And I can just go. That's when you're used to it. But it's pretty not that hard to get into. I found most other MMOs to be more overwhelming to like figure out what to do and how to get oriented them. And getting just completely turned around. Although that might just be because they're not WoW and I'm not used to them already, so I don't know.
That's probably it.
Akunda Matata. Say that one more time. We saved him. He's happy.
He is happy. I'm gonna press this button though.
Yep.
Ooh.
That's more or less the summary of this entire continent. It's just a sequence of quest chains that result in either killing or saving a giant animal. That's like some kind of god or something.
I mean, he is talking to us, which is alarming.
Oh,
because
right.
I've skinned his people.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah. Many of them. Again and again and again. We are not good people.
How long do I have to wait?
Wait, you have to wait for these guys to walk over here.
I know, hurry up.
Yeah, they're just getting there for me. Nope, now I got little followers. Speak to Mira. That should take us to the next spot. I'm gonna visit a vendor real quick before I do that.
That's a good idea.
Because she's gonna take me somewhere else and we're gonna be a while. I don't wanna. It's time to take off my sets. Time to finally take off all of my sets and slowly transform my character into some kind of vague Aztec spellcaster, because all my transmogs are gonna get replaced until I reset them.
I like the idea, dude. I gotta take off my ankle weights. It's time for the real fight, Gara.
Because now I've got like a brown and green robe with like a skull on it, and I just have foot wraps on, which seem to only wrap up like the ball of my feet and nothing else. The rest of it's just my foot on the ground. It's like, yeah, this is level 110 gear. That makes sense. This is logical. The nakeder I get, the stronger I get. But only feet. It's a really specific fetish by the person who designed the game. The more feet I show, the stronger my power level.
I don't think those trolls up ahead are friends of yours.
I don't think those trolls up ahead are friends of yours. Fucking mood.
Not at all. Everybody out of
Dialogue.
Seems a little mean.
Well, they're trolls. You extrapolate to the IRL trolls and you're like, oh, yeah, correct.
Why are you guys burning down my shit?
Jesus, it's gone. Our trusty wagon. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Nothing's ever permanent in WoW.
No. But of all the characters they could kill, they killed Waggy?
Well, it wouldn't be emotional otherwise.
I loved him.
You're safe.
Over here! I found her!
Julwaba, are you hurt?
I am alright, but my friend here is fading
Dee
fast.
dee da dee dee da. Oh, it's below.
Oh, yeah,
I'm a dummy.
We've caught back up with
It is a long
Kiro.
story, one that can wait.
Oh,
He will meet Bonsamdi soon if
I'm
we
right
do not
here.
hurry.
The leader.
Let me help him. I know what ails him.
All be welcome here.
Still caught off guard by how much voice acting is in WoW now.
yeah.
Gather what is needed to heal.
Everyone's got a lot to say.
I will fill in Julwaba on what we know.
How the fuck do you see through that mask? What the fuck? Crimes. Oh, hi, doggy. You're my favorite customer. Now look at the mounted person's eyes.
No.
Like how, like she can't see.
Wait a second. Hold on a minute. That doesn't.
Who the fuck designed that helm?
That is.
Mask is some hot nonsense.
Yeah, that's a. Not too sure about that. Ooh.
Oh, that
Girls,
cactus.
aloe vera.
Oh yeah.
Prickly plum cactus. Who designed the name of this shit? This is adorable.
It'll hurt you and then it'll heal you.
I wonder if some people like do that. Or sorry, I wonder if some people will take a child and introduce them to something but not tell them the name of the thing and ask them what they think the name is. Because I bet you prickly plum cactus, like some kid probably called it a prickly plum. Like, what do you think this is? It's aloe vera. And like, it's prickly plum. Yeah, that's cute. All right. Putting that in a video game.
Like having your kids come up with the names of the Pokemon that they don't know.
Yeah. There has to be some benefit, like, you know, someone has to be taking advantage of children's imaginations that way.
Yeah. You need to monetize people as young as possible.
Yeah, otherwise, why do you even have children?
Oh, you're here. That's why he died instantly. I was like, why the fuck did he go down that quick? I was still aiming my AoE.
I just looked at him and he died. Jeez.
God damn. Stuff just dies.
Stay in the way.
Let's fuck up vultures for no reason.
There's every good reason to
You
fuck
died
them up.
because you exist. Bats, 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 bats.
Bats, bat. Okay, I think we're done.
Yep.
Or did you not kill enough scorpions?
I got enough. I was sticking around for you.
Oh, then I am.
I got here first.
Man, everybody else can fly here
for
but me.
reasons. Dude, that's what I have. That's what I felt like. The fuck, everyone can just fly. Still feel that way in Legion. Like, I'm surrounded by people who are at the correct level for Legion because they're actually leveling through it and they can fly already because their other characters unlocked it already. And I'm there as like a level 120 doing like obscure grinding things and I still can't fly.
Oh man.
It's like in order to get flying I'd have to like grind through every rep basically.
I have to disable the thing.
Here come the snake people.
Here's your weird jizz drink.
We're gonna kill so many sentient snakes with scarves.
Oh. Wait a second.
They wear scarves. It's not even a cape. That's just a scarf he's wearing. It just goes around his neck. I'm a little surprised. I guess they'd have to be Alliance, though, if they wanted to make them playable. Like, haha, and the slave owners join the white people. Like, well, this is not great for the Alliance reputation, all things considered.
And you guys also getting shit for enslaving people? Yeah, us too.
The city has fallen. Nothing together with Vorik and Korthek. We sealed the tomb with the hopes that no
Investigate
one
the
would ever
statue.
wake the giant
Oh.
buried within.
Well, alright.
We will not be
I was gonna say, like, I'm surprised you can't play as the snakes, but then I had to remember, like, well, they'd probably be Horde, but they already got the foxes with the Horde, and the foxes would not be happy if the snakes also joined the Horde. They'd be like, and we're in, and we're out.
Korthek is eager to attack them.
Well, look at this. Looked at it. Beautiful statue. 10 out of 10.
The city has fallen.
Looking at this statue. Beautiful statue.
just
10 out of
whipping?
10.
How do I statue?
What?
Oh,
You just
back
go and
here.
yeah, you gotta go and touch the statues.
The back of the statue. My Heart of Azeroth leveled up finally. Wow, that went slow. I really thought it leveled it faster before.
I guess
Ooh,
not. Oh,
quit.
Heart of Azeroth, level 2.
Oh wait, I'm an enchanter. I don't need to set these aside to mail them to my other character. I am that character. I am the
That sounds
one.
like a sounds like a personal problem.
Yeah. What size are your bags?
24 slot.
Are all of them already 24?
Everyone but one. One of them is 26.
Ah, okay. I have 2 24 slot bags in my inventory that aren't equipped. I grow stronger.
Ooh, I got a second ability.
Yeah, I probably vendored items earlier, forgetting that I'm playing the enchanter now.
Oh.
I'm just so used to the habit of like sell the stuff that's bound to me, and then set everything that's BOE into a side bag, and I'll mail them to Hinaril when I get back to a town. But I am Hinaril.
Oh my god. I
can
can
just
increase my movement speed more? Yes.
Oh god.
10% increase. I'm gonna be a fast boy. I love it. All right. It's been nice knowing you guys, but I gotta run. Whoosh. Wait, why am I enemies of the snake people now? What happened? We were friends before. You guys didn't hate me when I was a snake. Yeah, you're right about that. I don't see what the big deal is about being a snake anyway.
Am I interested in replaying Darkwood? Yes, but I'm also interested in replaying many other games, and also playing many other games for the first time. And every choice you make is an opportunity cost, and replaying the same game has diminishing returns.
Keith only wants to play one video game forever, and that is Overwatch.
I mean, I do really like Overwatch, even though it's crushing my soul.
Welcome to the party. Dead and goodbye. Take that, snacks.
Take that, snacks.
2 snacks in there, hanging out.
It's a glittering sapphire. Just sitting
I think
in the
it's-
open. It's
That
fucking
is
massive.
That's the best thing about.
How did somebody
being-
expose a crystal that big and then not take it?
I don't know. They're snakes, Keith. Maybe they have bad eyesight.
They enslaved them for this mine.
Okay.
We're
That doesn't
currently
mean they're good at their job.
Like, we're currently
Clearly.
surrounded by fox slaves.
That's why they have the fox slaves, because they're bad at finding crystals. One nice thing about being native in a language is that you can completely destroy that language, and people who are fluent will know what you mean, but people who aren't are like, what the fuck is this guy talking about?
That's the highlight of your language?
Yes.
What?
Whoa, what is this? Yo, did you just...
Laser beam!
Vorik, if you are receiving this message...
Why does it... What? Is this a Sith holocron?
Right? Thanks, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Barrier we placed on the tomb long ago. I can only hope I've hidden my key well enough so that
my
you
bad.
are the only one to
I think that guy was hoping that we were not going to kill his people and take the key. Psych,
Whoops.
we killed your people and took your key.
I don't have a tongue.
I mean, there's evil... I think the guy that's back at our camp is against, like, the old evil, like, slavery and whatnot. So he sees these people as traitors that have betrayed their culture or something.
Are you here to help?
You mean their culture isn't slavery?
Many cultures are.
Many cultures are.
It's not great.
How dare you speak of the Romans like that? They were an advanced people who also just had slaves. A lot of slaves. Like so many slaves they revolted twice.
Slaves.
I'm really, I have to say, I am really impressed that that rather than learn their lesson after the first giant slave revolt, the Romans were like, nah, double down, make more slaves. Like,
as our lower would have wanted.
that's some next level ignorance.
I mean, they made mistakes.
They made mistakes.
I'm not sure how many people haven't made staggering mistakes in their societies.
The Swahili people didn't really have much chance to.
Conquer all of Zuldazar. We will do
No!
whatever it takes to stop him.
I didn't turn in Seeking Shelter back there.
Good that you have returned.
Oh.
I thought they were gonna fly me over to the Seeking Shelter thing, but they flew me way the fuck over here.
Oh, I forgot to turn it in too.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think we'll be back there later. Even if we just have to walk back. I think there's a temple over there that's a whole quest hub. Ah, I've got a friend this time, so I'll be able to take on all of these wanted quests the first time.
Ooh, a mailbox.
Last time I could only... Oh, there's an innkeeper back here. Awkwardly hidden away, kind of. Last time I played through this zone, there's so many wanted quests, and I just could not...
Should I make this place my home?
I could not handle so many of them solo. You might as well.
Okay.
I mean, there's a flight master here, so it's a pretty decent home to have. For as long as we're in this zone. There's not much reason to go back to Dazar'alor until we're just questing there again or something. Whereas being able to hearth back here means you can skip back when you do certain quests or something. It's not a huge zone though. Like, there's definitely earlier zones that constantly push me to use my Hearthstone to get back faster and save a trip or something.
Yeah.
But like this expansion is like, it's a lot of circular shaped maps. So you're kind of always not that far from any other point on that particular region.
All right, so what are we doing here?
Kill all things.
Okay.
Kill all things.
BRB, killing all things.
They know what they did. They know what they did.
Wow. See.
Kill all things, kill all things, kill all thingy things.
A lot of things to break.
Yep. I like the cannons that you attack. I might have broken all those before you even started the quest. But, you just see, like, a meteor come in to blow up the cannon, and then, like, the fucking guy standing out at it just stands there for, like, another few seconds, then just falls over dead. They don't react at the correct time to the blast.
Hey, who's this guy? Warlord Zorthox? 112? Well, time to fight.
Yep. We're 112. That is our current level, Andrew.
I know, that's why I was like, wait, I can take this guy on.
Yeah. Well, it's because everything just matches our level. They just make the, in order to make things tough, they just make them elites. But that doesn't work on 2 people. Haha. Haha.
Oh no. That's one more than 1.
Checkmate, I brought other dude. Your pet seems to be a nightmarish flesh beast, or was that mine?
I think that's yours. Mine is just rock.
Where are all these people coming around? What? When did I get a satyr? Where'd the satyr come from? You see this guy?
Yeah.
What the fuck? What?
That's definitely your guy.
What a random thing have I have on my character that now summons satyrs? I don't know, man. You just keep leveling up your warlock, and they periodically a new passive summon gets added to your character. You don't even know what causes it.
something.
I think the
but
weird.
congratulations.
Did you see that weird like dog-like flesh beast garbage monster thing that was coming around? I was like, what am I looking at?
No, what?
Yeah, I don't know. It's not what my Dreadstalkers look like, right? No. Yeah, they still look like little like skull dreadlock dogs. I like them. I was worried they got turned into whatever the fuck that creature was.
Oh, we don't need to kill these guys anymore. Never mind.
Yeah. But yeah, the downside of not manually buying skills anymore at a vendor is that you don't know when you get them half the time. It's always obvious when a new button pops up, but when like a passive effect gets added to your character, you're like, wait, what's happening?
Stay strong.
What happened?
Yeah. It is weird that they don't like have a notification on the UI. It just says like, hey, by the way, this was just added. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
I was playing as my hunter, and you might recognize this because I think we're both Beastmasters, right?
Yeah.
And I hit a certain level where one of my basic cooldowns just changed into a different icon. Like it got replaced, and I was like,
yeah.
what? I think it's like the buff that you cast on your pets to make them stronger for a bit, like some kind of frenzy. It just changed into a different icon. I'm like, what? Why? What? What's happening? I'm confused. I'm so confused.
Hey, 113.
What?
Are you here to help?
What?
How did you pass me?
First keeper. His
Huh?
name
Oh, because I skipped the
was
cinematic.
Sophis, and he died at the
No, I mean, because I was ahead of you by like a while. I think when you said you were 112, I think you said you reached a level, and like you had just reached a level, and I was like, wow, I'm almost the next level. But you just beat me to 113.
Our lower sacrificed
Skills.
herself to save us from that monstrosity.
Skills for thrills. I need to.
This fucking crab monster.
Able to destroy the disc at the heart
Great.
of Tulaman. After
No.
witnessing his destruction firsthand,
Why would you do this?
knew that something must be done to prevent
I can see the chat, yes, unfortunately.
again.
You have wasted money, sir. How dare you?
Sophis could not
Shame.
cleave
Shame be
the
to you.
barrier alone. Korthek and I lent him our aid, and together we sealed Mithrax within the
Man,
great
wherever you live has really cheap condoms.
As the sands continued to spread, Korthek grew hungry for war.
I feel like I have to just leave that with no context.
And use him as a weapon.
Yeah, probably. What?
The continent.
Didn't you have it? Oh, I thought you had another quest.
This must be what Jack
Alright, forget it. I don't want to help you no way
We
anyway.
need to warn the princess.
Korthek raised an army of like-minded Sethrak, and they began to slaughter those who opposed them. Sophis was the
Let's
first,
see.
but not before safeguarding his key. Those of us still loyal to Sethralis were forced out of our home and into
dupe?
hiding. We have been fighting.
Oh, I do not have a pet. LOL. I guess my pet died. Come back to me, child. There we go.
Korthek brought this war upon us. Korthek has gone too far. I must deal with this personally. Protect the keys while I am away.
We will defend your people.
God, I love
Meet me at
so there's this YouTube channel I watched that was about anime, and it eventually like it ended up getting shut down because it was part of like a bigger content creation hierarchy. You know, like one of those big like MLM channel or MCM channels or whatever. And so I guess because of COVID and whatever, they decided to shut down a bunch of channels that they had running. And so I supported it on Patreon to come back, because they're like, oh, well, the group of people still exists. Like, we just lost all of our jobs, but we're still alive. So
Yeah.
you know, we can just continue doing it on our own channel if we make enough money. And so that's the what's it called? That's the channel that just added me to the Discord that they had created.
Oh,
And,
Atrovax. I just read that as anti-vax.
Oh my god, what?
I picked up Atrovax gel samples.
Oh.
I was like, what? Why does this game got anti-vax samples in it?
I mean, that's healthy, right?
No.
Yeah. Can't be taking vaccines. What if your kid gets cured? Then what are you gonna do? Have a kid? That's the entire reason you don't
Vaccines
vaccinate
aren't
them.
cures, they're preventative.
Use that item yet.
Yeah, preventative cures from bad diseases.
I whistle at you, random snakes. Haha. Here is my whistle. There we go. I blow
Wow,
it
you
all up.
sent like a shit ton home. How did you do that?
I just drove around into my mount and whistled on them all. It's like an AoE. Did I just finish the quest for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just a bunch of random snakes everywhere.
Well, never mind then.
So what were you saying? You're saying that like an MCN started just killing off all of its partnered channels or something?
Yeah, so basically one of do you know the channel Frederator?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh. I think the only anime channel I watch
Do you ever remember Bravest
Super
Warriors?
Eye Patch Wolf. Yeah.
Yeah, they were the ones that made that show.
Oh, did you mean anim? Oh, you meant you said you were talking about animation
Frederator.
channels.
No, the company that owns the animation studio is called Frederator.
Oh.
That's the name of the animation
So
company.
are you Patreoning a animation company
No.
or an anime
I'm
or like an anime review channel?
I wouldn't call it an anime review channel. It's more of an anime variety channel where they just
It
kind
shows
of
anime?
No, where they do videos about anime but not reviews. They just talk about things in anime.
Just like anime podcasts and anime news.
No, it's more of just like
When do they do that?
They're I don't know how to describe it. They're not documentaries, but they're
Is it video
they go
essays?
over. Yeah, they're like video essays. There you go. That's what I was trying to
Just
think
like
of.
here's my think piece about how they handled this character arc or
Yeah,
the
basically.
themes of Tokyo Godfathers.
Yeah, and there's
It's weird. Almost every channel I follow that's like that does cover anime. I just don't. There's just almost no anime channels.
Yeah, so this is basically a channel dedicated only to doing.
Like I've got there's a channel I
animes.
watch that has an entire series on Satoshi Kon movies, and has a really good video on Tokyo Godfathers where they talk about how like the three homeless people in the movie represent three marginalized groups specifically in Japan, and discuss like the history of the oppression that each one faces. And then going into how that goes throughout the story, because the story is explicitly like a retelling of like the coming of Jesus with like the three wise men. And it's like, oh my god, there's so much going on in this movie that I didn't really know, in part because I'm not religious, but and so on.
But also because you watched it once.
I think I linked that.
Those types of videos
that was
take a
Bread
lot.
Sword. I linked you one of their videos and said that it got intense. There's the Gurren
I
Lagann
watched,
video, which is brutal.
Yeah, I watched that one.
Yeah, Bread Sword is good.
It's weird because I feel bad, but I only cared about the Gurren Lagann part of the conversation. Like when he started talking, I guess because I don't actually know him as a person, that sort of information is just thrown away to me. Like my brain doesn't retain
That's because you're a sociopath.
that's true. My brain just doesn't deal with other people's empathy unless they're people that matter to me.
You have to watch all his Satoshi Kon videos first, and then you'd be like, I like this channel. Oh no.
Yeah, but it's like it's too late now. Like I wasn't the target demographic for that stinger, I guess. Like, and I tried to even like muster fake empathy, where I was like, I can relate. My parent, yeah, because I was like, well, I had a parent who died.
It for yourself.
Like, yeah, it just because I was wondering if this mattered to like how I should. Will I understand what he's trying to say about Gurren Lagann if I can't empathize with him in this struggle he's currently talking about? And so like my brain was like, okay, well let's pretend like we can feel his pain. And it was like, okay. And then it wasn't relevant to the Gurren Lagann thing. I was like, oh, okay, well, thank goodness, because I don't think it was gonna work for me. But it was, I mean, it was a good build up. Like the way he framed the story was great.
That one Super Eye Patch Wolf video has been surprisingly relevant lately with me playing Ghost of Tsushima. The one about the fake martial arts.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of what ninjas and samurai are. Is they're kind of like performative mythical concepts mixed with history.
Ninjas a lot more than samurai. Samurai tend to be
samurai were no anime. They both existed, but like samurai were never like mythical anime heroes that led the charge in honorable combat in such like overhyped like movie sorts of ways. They were knights, which also have like with knights there was also the propaganda of the idea that like, oh, they're so honorable and perfect and they do everything themselves and everything, when actually like they were both knights and samurai were like pretty like they were lords. They were landowning lords with many vassals and armies, and there was just a lot of ritual and tradition built around hyping themselves up and shit. But like they're not doing any of the shit you see samurai do in movies. Like no. In fact, the entire I looked into it and I found out that the entire Bushido code as a concept wasn't even named as a concept until 300 years after when Ghost of Tsushima takes place.
Yeah.
And that's like the Tokugawa era, where we were like on the verge of modern society, which is when the entire code people associate with samurai was when they were on the verge of ceasing to exist already. So it's mostly like a token thing.
Yeah, I tried to explain this in the Discord where I was like, Japan is really good at selling Japan, and they have like made an empire out of it. So everything is marketable. The idea of samurai, ninja, like we had the same things they did. We had ninja, we just called them spies.
Like ninjas just were spies that would like gather intel and murder people in some cases, like assassins, but like they weren't like doing any, they didn't dress like what ninjas looked like, and they didn't do any of the shit ninjas did. And a lot of these weapons are like incredibly niche and uncommon if they existed at all. Like they'd probably poison somebody or stab them and when they find a chance or something, and they would steal information and take it to their lord.
Like they do it all the time.
And like a lot of the stuff about how honorable and noble and like all these codes that samurai are supposed to have is mostly invented by movies that happened after they were extinct. It's like, no, it's just a guy with a sword, cool armor. And like,
I will say that
a lot of their big moves and like rituals and like performative sort of things were basically what happened when you had a bunch of nobles in a time of peace, increasingly like ritualizing their existence and like creating a bunch of like routines and things. Like it's like when I was in karate and you did the Kaja Kempo Pinyans and stuff, where you did like these long strings of moves that were like kind of exercise and kind of performative, but like all that stuff was like basically like ritualized practice in a time when you have this art of war, like martial arts in a time of peace.
Yeah.
So you're just kind of like increasingly it's getting less and less realistic and less based on actually being usable in any context, until it's essentially like kabuki theater. Like it's just a performance. That's a part that you learn. It's part of like the courtship of like performing your station in life and your nobility and how important you are. It's like this, like, look at this thing. Look, I'm a samurai. Look at me perform samurai-ness.
Pretty much. That's
it's like it's like the Chinese martial arts. Is it Tai Chi? Is the one? Is that the one? The one that's about like redirecting. It's supposed to be all about like redirecting forces and shit, but it's basically useless. Like it's almost entirely like a performative. Like it's almost like a dance. Like you learn to perform it on stage. Essentially, it's not really a martial art.
Yes.
And people were really mad because there was that one MMA fighter that's like, I'm going to prove that Tai Chi is bullshit, and he just started taking out all of the top Tai Chi experts in the entire country, and everyone's mad at them for like everyone in the country is essentially like mad at this guy for ruining the illusion. It's like wrestling basically. Like they're ruining the illusion that this magical martial art is so good, because it's kind of tied to like the identity of a lot of China and its culture, but it's like a mass delusion. Like everyone just kind of convinces themselves to like believe in it, because it's like it's like the emperor's new clothes situation, where like you don't want to be the one guy that's calling it out because everyone else seems to believe in it, and you don't want to get excluded from your groups and everything.
Yeah.
So everyone's kind of like yeah, I see it too. Oh yeah, because you don't want to be like left out of your everyone.
There's a lot of weird shit like that.
Well,
especially
it's like doubting Scientology when you're surrounded by Scientologists. Like you'll get kicked out of your entire society.
Well, that's a little extreme. Most of the time, you can doubt things without the risk of
no, it's not
literal social repercussions.
Doubting Tai Chi is not as strong as doubting Scientology, but I mean, like that's the emperor's new clothes like fear.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, oh yeah, yes, I see it. It's great, and like you're just like playing along, because playing along is better than like making yourself seem out of place by being the one person that calls out the thing.
There is a lot of, but yeah, there is a lot of performative nature in
that guy's like career in life is ruined.
Who?
Like the MMA fighter. Like his social credit, like yeah, like they. Like it was getting to the point where like they were challenging him to fights across the country to like defend the honor of Tai Chi and shit, and they would and like the government kept demoting his social credit score to the point where he wasn't allowed to take flights. It's like it was getting increasingly impossible for him to even get to these locations, and I think he eventually had to like give up and like pretend to be defeated, because it was like ruining his life. Like the truth was ruining his life, so he had to like pretend to be defeated in Tai Chi and try to like walk this back, because like it's so fucked up there that like you can't, if you do something that's seen as disruptive to their society, then like the government itself comes down on you.
I mean,
it's distressing.
There's a huge part of me that I just, yeah, again, this is probably because I'm not a human. I just don't get it. I don't understand the importance of anything like that, like cultural importance stuff. I get it from like a historical standpoint, like, oh yeah, you know, Tai Chi is important because it explains a certain part of, you know, a culture at a certain time, but I don't see the value of it as like a necessity. I don't like Tai Chi being real doesn't make sense to me. Why would you need to keep that illusion up? If it's not true, then okay, why does it matter? It doesn't matter. It never mattered. It just, like, I don't know. The same thing of like, why would someone get upset, or why would Japan need to sell the idea that samurai were more mystical than they actually were, or why do Middle Ages hype up stuff? It's like it doesn't matter.
Pretty much everyone lies about their past to themselves. Like we know about how Americans treat American history. It's like, wow, none of that happened.
But it's weird because like it doesn't.
Like, did it fuck with you when you found out what that like? When you found out like most cowboys were black?
Like it didn't fuck
that's
with
like
me.
A fucking like whiplash moment of like, wow, we just really lie about everything, don't we? Jesus fucking Christ, man.
It was more upsetting because it sounded kind of cool. Where I was like, oh damn, that's actually kind of fucking
it's like, oh right, because like they were all slaves when that were like
they were all slaves.
They were all slave cattle herders and whatnot, and then the slaves got freed. So then they just became all of the cowboys, and like that's why cowboys as a concept basically existed. But
that's
because
awesome.
America's like consistently racist, they had to pretend that cowboys weren't black because they wanted to have cowboys as part of their like natural like cultural heritage and history, but they didn't want to acknowledge like who they actually were at all. Oh, this is the bizarre run over all the plants quest. Hope you got mouse. Hope you're using mouse look.
I am.
Yeah. This is a huge pain in the ass to steer otherwise. You just want to really just quickly just run over every single one of them and not use any abilities.
It's a huge pain in the ass already.
It's a bit of a weird one. Oh god damn.
Yeah, this is
the giant Audrey 2 that eats you has a hell of a hitbox. Like you don't have to get close to it at all.
Not great.
The
turning is just not
It's
fun.
a bummer how often I'm just really disappointed in us.
I just don't care anymore. Like the moment you leave America, you kind of just don't care anymore about your.
Oh yeah, and pirates were a lie. Like our cultural like icon of what a pirate is like never happened. Like
pirates
just fucking everything. Every like go-to archetype is completely fictional, so it's no surprise then that that's ninjas and samurai are also lies. I think I'm gonna go back to that quest we didn't turn in.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of looking at too.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to turn you in.
That's all we've got right now, except for all those like horde icons that are up north.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There's
those the honor bound. That's how you unlock the other orcs.
I will say the one thing that's really neat is I like the story. Like I really like the stories that come out of it. I just don't like the weird decision to make it true. Like that's the part. Yeah, like that's the part that's confusing to me. Like there's a story of a samurai who wielded 2 blades, and
there's a flight path here. We could have picked it up. Yeah, we could have picked it up at the time, but we never went to the question mark.
Oh god.
Then he could have like hearthed and flew there.
And like there's a story about how he died, which was he went out just basically the most badass way possible, which is fighting, like 50 men on his own. And he did it on this like island, and they built this thing on this island in his honor. And now you can like go visit this, grave site for this crazy like dual wielding samurai. And that's cool. I like that. That's really cool. But I don't buy it. I don't think it's fucking real. I have no questions about, like, no, sliver of belief that some dude walked up to 50 guys with 2 fucking samurai sword and was like, all right, guys, let's do it. And people just didn't shoot him like with a bow. Like,
it's like
off.
It's like Japan's fascination with Romance in the Three Kingdoms, which is like this mythologized, fantastical version of Chinese history.
That's a disgusting thing to be fantasized about, given their history with China.
Yeah, that's strange in its own way. But yeah, it's full of all these magical things, like how Zhang Fei single-handedly held the bridge of Changban and so on. And it's like,
that
what?
Exactly. That's cool shit.
Like,
that's cool storytelling.
I'm like, it's fun story, but he super definitely didn't. All this stuff, like the very concept of Lu Bu as a concept.
Now, Lu Bu is real. There's no doubt in my mind that Lu Bu existed, because you can't make that up. It's Lu Bu.
Of course you can make that up. It's easy.
No.
He's
that
really generic.
No, that's the problem.
He's just some
He's
badass
too generic.
with a funny like bug antenna hat.
He is so generic. It has to be true. There's no way. I believe everything about Lu Bu, even down to his horse. I believe everything.
I always got it. It was always like a learning moment when I would like play Dynasty Warriors, and I'd play like the story and I'd memorize how the story goes, because I was playing so many different campaigns and replaying them over and over again and seeing how they all go and everything, and Zhao Yun and all those people. Then you go to like the historical tab that some of the games have, and it tells you like the lifespans of all the characters and of all the people, like the real people, and like when they were born and when they died, or if they even knew. Like so many of them don't have a birth or death date because neither of them are known, and a huge percentage of them die like really disappointing deaths, like Just
Yeah, they
just basic ass like, well, not even that. Like most people just die of illnesses.
Oh, that too, yeah.
Because like in the games, of course, they're like frontline magic super warriors up there with like the idea of samurai and whatnot, and you're slaughtering thousands of people, and they're such mystical heroes. But like a lot of them were like generals and strategists that were actually like the powerful people behind the lines that were controlling everything and not necessarily actively in every fight. So a huge number of them just die of an illness one day. And of course, because real life isn't a fun, satisfying narrative, a huge percentage of them die really unsatisfyingly, just in the middle of things going on, and they don't get to resolve half the stuff that's happening. Yep. Although the coolest fucking storyline ever is Zhuge Liang gaslighting Sima Yi into thinking he's still alive. It's the Battle of Wuzhang. It's the Battle of Wuzhang Plains, and at that point, I think either Lu Xun or no, I think it was Zhuge Liang's follow-up, Zhao Wei. It's like the strategist they started adding in the later games because he wasn't given a full character early on, but he Zhang Wei, I think, he replaces Zhuge Liang as the strategist of Shu. And like the Battle of Wuzhang Plains are happening, and Simi is like, haha, we will crush them because Zhuge Liang recently died of like illness or whatever, so that they're completely fucked. And then some next level crazy plans start happening, which I don't remember if it was just because they were so good at their strategies and whatnot that like they tricked him into thinking he was still alive, or I think what actually happened is that I think Zhuge Liang left plans of how to do the fight anyway, and so like Simi was like tricked into thinking that Zhuge Liang was still alive at that point.
Holy shit, that's pretty good.
Oh, we're supposed to shoot them with flaming arrows, aren't we? But like there's like this back and forth of like you can't tell, like, is it the spirit of Zhuge Liang haunting this battle after his death, or did he lie about dying to throw us off? Was that his strategy? It's like all this fucking nonsense. The story of Dynasty Warriors is really amusing.
Could you imagine being on the battlefield and you're like, this motherfucker, he's still alive. God fucking damn it. Like,
he's just pretending to be dead.
Son of a bitch, that's genius.
Like, it's such a funny idea to doubt that. Like not being able to tell.
Yeah, there's no, it's not like Twitter. You can hop on Twitter and like, okay, no, everyone has hashtags. It's clearly real. He died.
God, like, I'm so sad the newest one wasn't awesome.
I mean,
because they're making like an open world one, like it could have been so interesting, but instead it was incredibly boring. Because instead of being a sequence of missions, basically like the entire campaign would be like a series of events happening over the course of one giant map.
Which does sound pretty good.
Like playing out organically, and then there'd be like quests along the way, but it's just like, the map was mostly empty and exploring wasn't interesting, and like the AI wasn't really taking to the fact that it was a giant map that well, and it was just, and like none of the feel was there. Like that kind of like that kind of getting things done feel, where like Dynasty Warriors is like World of Warcraft on steroids in the way that you like just have so much stuff you're getting done at once. Because in Dynasty Warriors, there's like that sort of like real-time clock, like Dead Rising thing where several objectives and things are happening simultaneously, and you're trying to think about how best to navigate the map and prioritize your targets and which like officers to go after, and do I want to go after this officer, or do I want to make sure that the Changbon Bridge scenario happens over there, or like there's just like a lot of decisions you were making besides just smacking at people, because the combat was relatively monotonous, but it was just kind of cathartic. But, like the real strategy was like your choices of like where you were going to go on the map and how you're going to handle the map itself on a macro scale instead of the micro stuff, because the micro stuff was pretty like flat until you played on a really high difficulty. Then you had to worry about the micro and the macro because you're losing your goddamn shit, because like any random officer could two-shot you. So you had to like panic your way through these scary ass fights. It became a horror game. But it was entertaining, and like for me, like one of their peaks was when they did Samurai Warriors 4, because in particular, if you were playing single player in Samurai Warriors 4, like what it is, they specifically built Samurai Warriors 4, which I played with you, around there being simultaneous objectives on the map. Like there'd be too many tasks that are too far apart for you to accomplish single-handedly. So in multiplayer, it meant that you'd have reason to split up and coordinate who was doing what in order to like handle the crazy stuff that was going down. But if you're playing single player, you could tell your other character where to go on the map, and then you could press like select or something at any time to hot swap between the two characters. So you played two characters, and you would like move them to two different battlefronts, because then whenever something like came up on the map, you could switch to the relevant character to react to it instead of trying to run to it. And it was way more. It made it so much more interesting. They've had entries in that franchise that have good shit going on, and then Dynasty Warriors like 9 or 10 or whatever happened, the open world one, and it was crushingly bad. I was hopeful for like half an hour, then bored out of my fucking mind. It was the worst case scenario where I was excited when it came out, and I recorded and uploaded like one episode, and I was like, yeah, cool, oh man, we're gonna do a series on this. Then I sat down to do my next like proper session, and I recorded for like a few hours, and I'm like, I hate this. I hate this. Oh no. But I already uploaded part 1, so like based on the rules of my channel, it's like expected that I would do a full playthrough now. I specifically avoid it. Like I would do a let's try if I don't plan on doing a full series on it. I would like if it goes wrong, I'm like, ugh. But I specifically like did this hopeful, positive first episode, and then had the experience kind of come crashing down around me as the realization was settling in of what I was actually playing.
You're like, oh no, this isn't what I wanted.
I got so bored so fast. I was so bummed out.
That is the risk of something so ambitious. It does, like, saying it out loud, it sounds very unlikely to succeed. The idea of a Dynasty Warriors open world game, just because I can't imagine that company having the ability to make that.
I mean, they have such a mixed history of doing anything creative.
That's also a good, yeah, that's also very
because they're like the Telltale games of Japan, where they just get commissioned to make like a licensed game for just various things. So they have One Piece games, they have Fist of the North Star, they have Berserk, they have Gundam, like a trilogy of Gundam. Like they keep making adaptations of various like anime and whatnot.
Didn't they make the Zelda one too?
Yes, Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah,
that was one of their best ones they've ever made.
There's so many,
but they've made a lot of really not great ones. Like they have such a mixed history of like executing on that, and that's just doing an adaptation where they just plunk their existing gameplay over a thing. They did the Arslan adaptation.
Oh,
the anime that the FMA lady made.
That seems so easy. Come on.
Yeah, it was just kind of boring. I played through that a while ago on the channel. I did it co-op, so it was more bearable. But it's just like it's amazing how much they aren't seemingly able to iterate and go anywhere interesting with their games. But at the same time, they also like regularly fail to recapture what made some of their previous games fun. Like even on the base level of just like repeating what they did before, they often like stumble, and it's surprising. So you kind of have to like create this like list in your head of like the fun to play Samurai Warriors and Dynasty Warriors games, because surprisingly they don't just keep getting better each time. You think at the very least they would just keep iterating, but then you have stuff like Dynasty Warriors 6 where they removed combos for some reason.
Yeah.
They had the Renbu system where you just press one button constantly, and the more the bigger your combo got, the more like intense it got, but you weren't making choices during the combat. Not that like the choice of moves was the biggest thing ever in the other games, but like, you know, just the basic thing of like triangle or X triangle or square triangle or square triangle or square triangle. Just like the part of like how many squares before you finish your combo do you end on, because that leads to a different outcome. Like that's what Yakuza does a lot. To this day, a lot of Yakuza combos are just like Dynasty Warriors, where you just have the different finishers. But
really?
And it's like fairly satisfying. Because if you just build a satisfying game around it, then you can kind of be happy with your just a handful of different combos, where if you're doing it right, the different one will each do a different thing, so there's like some kind of purpose to it. Like I remember in old Dynasty Warriors, if you just hit triangle, then it would do like an amped up stunning attack that would often make your enemy like spin out and get stunned. And then if you did square triangle, it was kind of a, I don't remember, it was kind of just like a basic attack or something, but like I remember square triangle. Wait, no, was it square triangle? I don't remember which one was square triangle and which one was square triangle, but one of them would be like a thrusting forward attack, whereas one of them would be a launching attack, where if you hit triangle again, you'd follow them into the air, then hit them back down. And 3 squares in a triangle was a sweeping attack usually, so it was a big, like, really useful, like, bread and butter, like area clearing attack, and like there's just like a rhythm to it where like it's hard to remember like on the fly right now, but like when you played Dynasty Warriors, you remembered like not just what the attacks looked like, but the fact that they actually like they landed differently and had different purposes. So like you usually have like a bread and butter like big area of effect attack that you'd use during when you're clearing out mobs of peons, but then you fight like a big enemy and you're like, okay, I need to try using my stun so they don't like get to fight back as much because they might be lethal. And then you'd use like launching attacks to like crowd control them and try to just prevent them from being able to fight back as often. Like there was just like some kind of choices built into it in Dynasty Warriors, and then you get to 6 and it's just like, oh no, just press square for like 3 hours. I'm like, why did you do this to me? You guys had a thing.
Betrayal.
And they didn't even finish half the characters, so a bunch of the characters just had the same bow. Including some of the most interesting characters, because like Sun Sang Xiang just suddenly was just like a bow user. I think Luke Sun was a bow user. I'm like, what? The 2 swords backflip guy just uses a bow now, and like the cool character that has like a bunch of like disc swords. It's like she uses a bow now, and it's like, this is gross. You ruined all these characters.
About that. Yeah, there has to be some kind of like.
I think they just fucking didn't finish all the movesets.
Yeah,
so they just had placeholder movesets. It's really disappointing.
That sounds really disappointing.
Yeah.
I need to get closer.
But then we play Samurai Warriors 4 and they did so much right. They had like a ton of objectives, like more than you could even do in one run in many cases. So you had to play the game. You could play missions over and over again, and it would keep track of which ones you've done so far, kind of like Hitman. Like when you're trying to find all the different ways to kill people in Hitman. Like you'd be playing this game and you'd be trying to find all the different ways to finish these objectives, and then certain ones would unlock new characters or new storylines if you did that particular branch. And then there was too many objectives, so you had to split up the 2 characters to really like spread out and do things. And then they also did some cool effects, like if you held down the summon horse button, the horse would run into you from across the map. Like there was always the whistle that would call the horse, but getting on the horse was always really annoying because you had to walk up next to them, then awkwardly fiddle like, am I standing in the right spot? Like, ah, fuck, it's not working. You kept jumping up and down next to them like a jackass.
I remember.
So, but they eventually added it so if you just hold down the trigger, the horse like just runs directly into you, and you like swoop onto them like Legolas.
Wow, what a genius idea!
Yeah, and they made it that
you killed an alpaca.
Yeah,
you're supposed to herd them, you monster.
He didn't listen.
Ow!
You attacked that one.
I didn't. I whistled. Now he ran away.
Yeah,
see?
They don't like whistles sometimes. See,
yeah,
he learned.
Don't kill him.
Well, he didn't learn. He had a chance. Yeah. And then yeah, like in Samurai Warriors 4, there was like an entire like rush combo where you would just dash around. Oopsie, I didn't hit the bug. Die, alpaca. Oh wait, the whistle's gone. Gotcha. Like there was that rush combo where like you had your normal bread and butter like standing position combos you do normally, but if you were like running and hitting triangle, you would just dash forward and like kill 10 people at once for clearing out the mobs. It's like the 2 of us were just like doing that like fox dash from Smash Brothers in circles to kill like hundreds of people. That's just that there's like, let's make killing randos fun because it's not gonna take skill anyway, so let's add a cool ridiculous like dash around button that you just spam. They're so all over the place on executing on these ideas.
Well, I I really want to play the Berserk one, but I don't want to pay $60 to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I assume it doesn't cost that much anymore. I feel
It still does.
Does it really?
Yeah.
You can probably find a physical copy for cheaper.
Physical copy? What am I, a grandpa? I don't fucking.
Like that's years old.
Own a disc. Ugh.
Like I remember seeing a video. I think it was a preview video or something where like the best friends played it, and like they've been broken up for years now. I think.
Wow.
At least a year, maybe 2. They had that whole thing where they're like, "Hey, the best friends just aren't best friends anymore." So bye channel.
Is that what really happened?
Yeah. It was specifically because the best friends were always Pat and Matt, right? And
sure.
They just weren't friends anymore. So the third person, Wooly, was just like, yeah, this channel's over because they're not friends. So the whole core premise of this doesn't really work.
That's crazy.
It's time for everyone to split up. And so you just go your separate ways. All of them went off on. None of them kept. I guess it would make sense because it'd be like unfair. But yeah, like none of them kept the main channel. They just kind of leave it up like a museum of all their old videos, which I'm sure generates revenue and so on still for all of them. But they all went off on their solo streaming and YouTube channels.
That's kind of just that's like how I felt for a long time. There was a point where that's how I felt Sad Games was supposed to be. And you were doing your own content where I was like, why am I doing Sad Games alone? It's supposed to be like a dual commentary channel. It felt really, I don't know, it's always been a weird thing to me is that I always view Sad Games as like a co-op channel.
I tried to talk you out of that because
you subscribers,
well, you took issue with the idea because it felt weird or whatever, but I'm like, I mean, like, I have my personal channel that's doing great. And like obviously we're going different places in life because both of us kept moving over and over again, and just like the whole thing was getting less and less realistic, and just in general, like it was becoming a thing where like I just kind of gotta like once this became my clear job and whatever, it just didn't really make sense to make content that I don't upload here. But at some point I was just like, this should just be your personal channel. It just makes sense. And you specifically tried to go off on your own and do your own personal channel separately, but I'm like, why start from the ground up? Like it's usually impossible to get anything going. So if you have something like Sad Games to use, you might as well just upload there.
Which it makes sense. I should honestly, if I was a smarter person, I should have just kept my solo channel and just uploaded stuff to just kind of uploaded stuff to Sad Games from like the same thing, like what you do on your channel where you'll take stuff from Sad Games sometimes and then put it onto yours.
I'll occasionally upload something from like the backlog.
I should have done. I basically should have done that.
It's been a while since that though.
But inversely, where like if I finish a series on my own, then I would upload it to Sad Games as a complete series.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's really a reason to even make your own channel at that point. Just because your solo channel would have to be like starting over from scratch. It just seems unnecessary when you have the chance to just use an existing platform.
It just feels, I guess it feels weird because I feel obligated to continue making Sad Games content. So like, I don't know, it's one of those things, like if I wanted to do non-game related stuff, I have to just make up my own channel.
No, just fucking go for it. Just fucking go for it.
I don't like that.
It's your channel.
Yeah, that's and I hate that. I hate seeing other people's channels just turn into something else.
Yeah, but that's just what you do.
Yeah, but I don't.
Starting over is stupid. And also, like at this point, the Sad Games audience has literally put up with like that channel dying for like a year at a time, like just ceasing to exist for long stretches. So it's like at this point, like they should just be happy with whatever the fuck goes up, or just move on. It's fine. But like trying to start over from the ground up is just kind of pointless. Especially since like that's like among other things, like that's the channel I direct people to, have been directing people towards for years. That are like that know you from my content, for an example. I see people on your streams and stuff that are like familiar faces from like my content. So like they go to that channel because that's Andrew's channel, and that's been true for like longer than it ever was our channel at this point.
I don't know. I guess that's just like, it's
the
a
new,
weird.
like
I don't know.
It's like the new era is now older, has been around longer than like the original era, essentially. Like it's been your channel for longer than it ever was our channel. Just because, you know, time keeps going. You have that moment where you're just like, oh fuck, post-Cataclysm's older than pre-Cataclysm, and wow.
I don't know. I have a lot of weird hang-ups about stuff like that when it comes to the channel. And I think that's like you still need to kill some claws.
And at this point, it's been your channel for so long that like at this point, anyone who's still around sees it as Andrew's channel.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, because you do have a very...
You've also literally uploaded, like, podcasts and cooking shows.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone was like, oh, gross, get it out of here. I hate this different slice of life funny thing that you uploaded. This isn't Tokyo Jungle.
I had someone in my stream the other day that was like...
asking about Tokyo Jungle.
Yeah, I was like, when are you going to make more Tokyo Jungle videos? I'm like, bro... sorry, that ship is sunk. It's Titanic proportions of sunk.
But no, I think about that periodically where I'm like, should I upload all of my streams to a completely different channel? Or if I made a video essay, should I just not even upload it here? Or like, I uploaded that raid video of WoW, and I'm like, I could put it on like an archive channel. It's just weird shit like this, but then like, what's the point? Like, why go through all this work to upload something to a channel that no one looks at?
Well, with your channel, it's different. And I don't know, maybe I'm completely hypocritical for saying this, but like your channel feels like it's a channel for you. Your name is literally the channel. Where Sad Games feels like you can change the channel.
You can change the name of Sad Games.
But I don't want to change the channel. I love the name. The name is stupid in all walks of life.
Well, then it could just be you.
But that's the thing, is like I personally do not see Sad Games as me. I see it as us. I see it as a collaborative effort between us.
Well, a lot of the videos are us anyway.
Yeah, but in my mind, I view Sad Games as a channel
the majority of times you stream, I'm there.
Yeah, but it's a channel that we built together, and in my head, that's what it will always be, is a cooperative channel.
Which is funny because a lot of the subscribers, I wouldn't be surprised if most of your subscribers have come since after it became your channel.
Possibly. I mean, a good chunk. I had a lot of, not a lot. I had two videos
I started my solo
do
channel
really well.
early. I started my solo channel super early, and at that point we had so little audience that I didn't get a push. Like I would upload a video. It's like, hey, I'm uploading Demon Souls on my channel. Go check it out. Like a trailer for my channel, essentially. Yeah, because the idea at the time was like I was just gonna let's just upload my like solo stuff to my personal channel or whatever. Because I had a similar take on like the group versus solo stuff. We had our era where we'd each upload one solo video per day from each of us, and then one group thing that day.
Yeah,
and that was like kind of short lived. But that's when you played Silent Hill, The Room, and Black Mesa, and I played Castlevania and something else, and then you deleted all those videos. You deleted my entire Castlevania playthrough, just unprompted.
Did I?
Yes.
Did I delete your Castlevania videos?
Yeah, my entire Castlevania playthrough is just gone.
Are you sure I didn't unlist them?
I don't know. I can only look at it from I was only looking from the outside, not logging into the account or anything.
Okay, I feel like I would not have deleted your personal, your actual videos.
That feels like
something I wouldn't do.
Remember, we were in the middle of Dead Space, and Lollipop Chainsaw, and we were starting Dead Space, and you deleted everything we had so far. And we had finished recording all of Lollipop Chainsaw, and then you deleted all of our footage except for like a couple boss fights, and just stopped uploading the rest of it.
That's different because that was collaborative stuff, and I made a stupid decision. But I feel like I would not have deleted. Joe came in like a fucking like devil on your shoulder and just like talked you into reinventing the entire channel, and also not asking me about it, and then you just deleted like hundreds of videos. And I'm like, why did that happen? No, not that. No.
I remember because I was making like the best videos of the best of 2012 video, That was the first highlight I edited, and like yeah, it just like skips 3 months. It's like 9 months of 2012 because like 3 months of 2012 were gone for some reason. Choices were made.
Trying to see if Google search will let me figure. Okay, I don't see it. Let me see if it's being done. Yeah, I don't see it. Maybe I did.
But like, I think it's easy to forget because we did do sad games for a while in parallel. But I started my solo channel really early into us doing stuff.
I feel like, was it that early though? I feel like it really wasn't.
It was 2013.
Wow, holy shit.
I started uploading stuff to my channel in 2013, whereas sad game started in 2011. And the reason why was because you were moving.
Oh,
it's like I was invested in this whole thing. Like I used to just go over to your house, walk into your garage, and we would just record. But then you were moving to Sacramento, so then it was like,
a good time to be alive.
So there was this whole aspect of like, oh, this whole thing that we're doing might end, but I'm kind of invested in this. So I just kind of started uploading to like my solo channel, which is just my personal account that I've had since 2006. I was like, I kind of just want to keep doing Let's Plays. Because like either what we were doing was going to end, or it was going to be something that at most we'd be able to do like once a week or once every other week to record, because I'd have to like come to your house on my way home from college, because I was going to college in the same town that you were living in. Because generally speaking, you weren't really going to make the commute. It's never really been that way. So I was going to have to like come to your house after college, and even that was like seemingly a temporary fix, but it lasted that way for a while. So I was like, well, what do I do with the rest of the week? And I was like, I don't know. I'll just like, let's play some Demon Souls and Outlast and upload it to my personal channel.
And that worked.
And yeah, I went places over time. Specifically, I did Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1, just kind of warming it up. Because Demon Souls did alright. Like I was getting like 100 views a day, which is not like a lot, but it was something compared to like normally what people have when they just start from nothing on a channel. So I kind of just built on that. Like, I guess I'll play Dark Souls next, and then eventually I was like, Dark Souls 2? And specifically, when Dark Souls 2 came out, I uploaded it on launch day, and I was there immediately, and that just fucking drove some numbers my way, specifically. And then Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin came out, and it was, that was next level. Like, Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin was like with the specific thin niche I had for a bit, where I would play like the reboot version of a game. Like there'd be various like director's cuts of various games and stuff like that. And whenever that happened, I would often cover it. I did the same thing for Wasteland 2, and in that case it was just because I didn't cover it the first time. So I played Wasteland 2 director's cut, and I played Divinity Original Sin Definitive Edition and stuff like that. And like a lot of channels covered the first version already, and they don't want to just play the same game again just to see a few changes and some new content. So a lot of them don't come back the second time. And so I was fucking next level on growth from Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin, because I was playing the re-release of the thing. I played Dark Souls on my channel, Dark Souls 2, like 10 times.
That's insane to me.
It was a lot. Like at this point, it's actually actively hard to count, but I played Dark Souls 2 once, doing the normal playthrough. Then I did a New Game Plus like Magic playthrough. Then I also did a co-op playthrough. And then Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin came out, so I did a playthrough of that. And then I did a Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin New Game Plus Magic playthrough again, but like a different school of magic to mix it up or whatever. And then I think I might have also done a multiplayer thing of that or whatever. Like it would just iterate, like you just loop around. So it's like it's this thing where like there's between Demon Souls and the Dark Souls trilogy and Bloodborne, that's 5 games in the Soulsborne like little universe thing, and almost all of them I would end up playing 2 to 5 times. I mean 2 to 3 times basically, because I would play the main playthrough and then New Game Plus to see how it changed, or play it on harder difficulty essentially, and kind of keep ramping it up and enjoy that catharsis of being way better at it now and so on. And then of course like there'd be like a multiplayer playthrough, And it's like between all that, like I quickly had like 1,000 Dark Souls videos on my channel basically. And it was partly just because it's like, hey, this Dark Souls thing is really working for me and I like these games, so I guess I'll just keep covering them.
I mean, people like it, I guess.
And then, and ever since then, you just kind of would stumble into various surprises. Like, I was like, because like I was trying to be really smart, so I'd try to, you know, I think I taught a lot of this to you too. Like, they had strategies to have. Like, you had visual novels take off, so you tried to stick to more other visual novels to see if you could recapture the same audience.
Yeah.
And so you played like the high school whatever the fuck game, and then you play like Nekojishi and things like that. And like certain times it would carry over really well. And you'd get some of the same people watching again, and you'd see the numbers again. Like, YouTube's algorithm likes to push it when you play similar content. And so for a long time there, I was just playing Souls-like games, or even just anything that vaguely felt like that. I would just latch on to anything that was like an action RPG that had like a stamina bar and a lock-on system. That was like, all right, you're next. Bound by Flame and Lords of the Fallen and all these other, and some pretty garbage games. Just trying to recapture that as I went forward. And then I just kind of slowly went outward from there, and it was like, I don't know, like a Western style RPG, like any kind of action RPG. So I kind of ended up playing like Legend of Grimrock 2, and then that kind of blew the whole thing.
Come over and kill this guy, by the way.
Which guy?
Taz.
I already got whatever quest is up there, or I don't have it yet.
The share quest.
Oh shit. 1 second. I'm in the middle of a fight with Tongo. I apparently do need that quest. But when I played Legend of Grimrock 2, suddenly I found out that, like, wait, this game's basically more puzzles than RPG, and people like watching me do the puzzles. So then I just started playing puzzle games. So I played Talos Principle and then Witness when it came out, which turned out to both be great games. And then I just kind of found that, like, wait, YouTubers are terrified of playing puzzle games.
I love puzzle games, but man,
like people are terrified of playing puzzle games on YouTube usually because of like the backlash you get from the audience all the time. They're like, what the fuck, are you an idiot? Why can't you do it? Because like that's just how every puzzle game plays basically. You're always noticing something that they haven't noticed yet, or you already know the answer and you're judging them for taking any amount of time to solve a puzzle that you already knew the answer to and stuff like that.
My thing is I get mad at myself because I know the moment I figure out that the answer, I go, oh no, I recorded this. What a fucking idiot I am. Fuck. Yeah. Like that was all of my experience with Talos Principle was like, fuck, I know the answer. Just
you have to live with yourself being just wrong about things.
But then you figure it out and you're like, oh no, everyone gets to watch this. Look at how dumb I am. And then I have to watch myself again while I edit it. And I'm like, oh god.
Did you ever end up playing Baba Is You?
No, I haven't played Baba Is You yet. I think I have it. I just haven't played it.
You know what about that? You know what that is already?
Yeah.
That game's fucking ridiculous.
Right now, I've been playing the train. There's like a train one. I can't remember what it's called.
Cosmic Express?
No, hold on, give me a second.
Because that game's fucking neat.
Train Valley.
Oh, I played Train Valley at some point. I think I did a Let's Try.
It's a quaint, comfy little game. I like it.
Cosmic Express will break your brain.
Oh, good. I love that.
It's about placing a bunch of tracks on a grid, but they're like secretly kind of witness puzzles, and they try and draw a line that doesn't cross over itself and whatnot. So you're trying to figure out how to draw a line across this map on this grid where it'll drive by and pick up all the correct passengers across the map and deliver them where they need to go.
Okay, yeah, that is
You'll do
definitely
it as
up my alley.
And you'll draw it as like one, and you'll draw it as like one line of tracks. So every time, the way it works is that every time you pass alongside any passenger, they automatically hop in the next available car, no matter what.
Oh.
And every time you drive by the homes they can go into, they hop out. So you have to figure out an exact path to pick up all the passengers and drop them off. And each car fits one person. And there's often more people on the screen than there are cars on your train.
That definitely sounds like something I'd like.
It gets fucking nuts.
Yeah, but I hate playing puzzle games for people to watch.
Yeah.
Because it just feels so
also,
bad.
look at that art style. It's just pleasant.
Hold on.
The game is so just nice to look at.
Oh, that is a really good art style. I love that.
Just picking up little aliens and taking them home. They want to go home, Andrew. Why are you failing them?
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
$10 sold.
There's a decent number of little Sokoban nightmare things too. Like there's a game called Puddle Knights where you're trying to like
Knights?
Yeah, you're trying to get your king or queen or whatever to like their engagement, but there are various like muddy puddles in the way. So you have to like, it's like a take on Sokoban where like you have to cover the mud with your cape and the cape trails behind you. And so you have to like cover the mud so that you can then walk across it as the king or queen. And like different levels, you have a different length of cape and so on that covers X number of tiles, and it just trails directly behind you as you walk on a grid. And so you have to figure out like the trick to walk in the right pattern because you can't walk backwards through your own cape. And there's all these little limitations to deal with. Or Steven's Sausage Roll. That game is fucking insane.
Yeah, I watched you play Steven Sausage Roll, so I'm kind of ruined on that because I know
like,
that
where you push the fucking sausages around and you have to cook both sides of all of them and everything.
That shit.
The game was nuts.
That actually sounds infuriating to me. I like it, but watching you play it, I was like, oh god, so infuriating to watch.
It's a lot.
What do I need to do here? Gemboya's
There's a lot of takes on
witness?
that, and then there's Return of the Oberdin. Got on my channel, some of the top viewed things are like Talos Principle, Witness, and Return of the Oberdin. Which is just
games are fun.
Yeah. I was like a new game from the guy that made Papers, Please. I'll bite, and then it's like, wait, this might be better than Papers, Please, which I thought was impossible. I don't know how he made 2 games that good back to back, but he did. Jesus Christ.
He's just sleeping on ideas.
And they're so different. It's not iterative. Like he made a completely different kind of game the second time around. That's insane. Cuz he made like a murder mystery on a boat. Lucas Pope. I look forward to your next game. Although at this rate, it'll take like 6 years to make again, probably.
I mean, he's just one guy.
Yeah.
Just one little guy.
He must be cloned.
Oh no.
Yo, yes. we need like an unethical like Lucas Pope server farm where it's just a bunch of Lucas Pope clones making games quickly together. Just
it's called
clone
Capitalism,
them out.
and it's bad. I mean, that's what most game studios assume every employee is.
Oh god, I'm reading a book that's doing where the story is going in distressing directions, where the tech company involved goes to like it goes to like a very small like island country and just kind of single-handedly reinvents the entire country because it like quadruples the entire economy of the country but just by existing in it, and then the government just bends over backwards to keep them, so they start like really infringing on human rights, and it's just like, oh no.
Yeah.
This is bad.
That sounds about right.
Where are these supplies?
We've got
Oh shit.
to kill this one.
There they are. I see supplies now.
Go to the pet instead. Also, stop draining my pet's life. Alright. So many people. Okay. I don't know where those people came from.
When I thought about the server farm of Lucas Popes, it was because I was thinking about the fucked up thing happening in that story where like they have like people that they're experimenting on the minds of and using them as like They're using their minds to like mine Bitcoin, basically, or like a made up like version of Bitcoin. And it's just a bunch of people that live in that country all hooked up with their brains mining the thing like computers. It's like they are the resource, like in the 15 million merits episode of Black Mirror. It's just like, oh, this isn't good. This is really bad. No,
you've done a bad.
Stop it.
Hello, man. The sands swallowed.
Some
what a
people
fucking
call
distressing
this
ass idea.
a war crime. Yeah, I don't know. There's something confusingly funny about how easy tech companies manage to just wiggle their way into places and ruin things.
Just do wildly unethical and illegal things and just like change the countries in them to agree that actually they can get away with those things because they just will make so much money and so on. And then that turns out that's more important than ethics.
There's this weird thing where like, oh yeah, if we just make money now and deal with consequences later, nothing bad could happen. And then like, and then something bad happens. They're like, what? How could we have foreseen this? It's, it always reminds me of the, what is it? Like, I forget what country it was that like fell into a giant MLM scam. Like the whole country bought into it and then the entire country just like economy collapsed, and they were like, oh no, what do we do? And everybody was like, yeah, that's on you, bro. like there's, I don't know, sometimes I'm confused about just what you're actually getting for the amount of money you're making. Like I wouldn't say that I'm rich by any even stretch of the word, but I'm not living a terrible life. So like how? No, there's
a level of wealth that's unethical for it to exist. And
yeah, like at what point
you're being a bad person by making that much money at some point.
Yeah, like at what point is it unnecessary?
Like you
and
are
I'm not even
like that's the fucking iconic image of a dragon is just. It's just like this giant fat lizard just laying on a fucking like pile of gold and just hoarding it and not actually contributing anything to like the society around them, but wanting more gold anyway.
It's weird, and I'm confused by people defending it because
it's the American dream.
But it's not. It's not. It is absolutely not. The American dream is literally fuck Britain. That's the American dream.
It's this dumb hypothetical idea that, but like I could become that rich person.
If you could become that rich person, there wouldn't be laws to prevent you from becoming that rich person. Like people who are rich because other people that they are related to were rich and gave them rich. Like most people who are rich aren't rich because they became rich.
Yeah, like if nothing else, if you're that rich, if you reach certain levels of wealth just ever, then on a base level, you're just at least just fucking over your employees by not paying them enough.
Yeah,
because apparently you have so much more surplus money to make for yourself that you don't need to give to your own people for some reason.
But Keith, they open up foundations.
Even though they're the ones that do all the actual, they're the ones that do all the actual work at some point, and you're just like sitting on top of this thing you made. Just gross.
Well, I mean, capitalism is an MLM. It's just a better sold MLM.
But yeah, a foundation a day keeps the guillotines away. You got the fucking Gates stuff where you use foundations to like give off the illusion that you're like this massive force for good, but the foundation itself also puts like political pressure in really gross ways that makes the world worse, and people just ignore that part because they could, oh, so much money to charity. And they just ignore the entire fact that charity organization is like lobbying the government to make it worse in many cases and like just doing gross shit. I'm gonna die.
It's not great, and I don't. It's
I did not have a health stone ready.
There's a lot of really upsettingly nasty things that come out of disgustingly wealthy people existing.
Oh yeah, no, they change the world around themselves to keep the systems in place that make them wealthy, while also making it harder and harder for anyone else to actually get where they are.
But also,
it's
if
like
you,
the go-to image of like somebody in the zombie apocalypse climbing up on top of a house and then kicking the ladder, so nobody else can get up.
Well, yeah, because if other people can get up, then they're going to, you know, become rich and thus make rules that are different for you. Because maybe so to sum up, most of it is because the way that other people get rich may infringe on other people keeping their wealth, and that can't exist. Which is like, that's why you see things like when Netflix first came out, there was such a big push to stop that from existing. Is because like, no, because if Netflix does well, then I won't be profitable. It's like, yes, because you suck and you're not profitable anymore. Progress has made you invalid. Right. Like, that's the whole point.
Because people don't actually want competition.
No, they don't want competition. They don't want progress. What they want is
it's why all the oil companies actively lobby to ban any or just cancel any attempts to create renewable energy. Because it's like the whole capitalistic dream is like largely a myth. Like this idea that everyone will just exist in a vacuum and just compete, and the best will win, and no one's gonna fuck with that system. It's like, no. Someone will get to the top and then they'll immediately change the rules for everyone else and fundamentally change the system to benefit them. And like, corruption happens instantly, immediately.
Yeah.
That's what you do. Like, I don't remember the super specific stuff anymore, but like there was like, it was distressing learning about how Amazon got where it is right now. Because it essentially, it didn't even...
It destroyed the book market.
Yeah, but not even just that, it didn't even do it fairly. It's not like they were like, oh yeah, there's all these different bookstores, and I, who also have a dream, and I'm also gonna open my own bookstore, and whoopsie doodle, my bookstore through completely fair means outcompeted all the other bookstores because I was just that good, and then I made a super conglomerate mega corporation. It's like, no, not even that part happened. From day one, they cheated at being a bookstore and took advantage of things that other people just straight up couldn't do, and just like defiled the very concepts of how any of this was supposed to work, and get rewarded for it the entire time.
So a good example, like Amazon is a perfect example of this. Amazon succeeded by not making a profit.
Yep.
And what they did was they sold books at such a fucking ridiculously low price that it would lose them money. But they made money in other facilities, and they used those profits to compensate for the failing book business until they literally decimated the book business. So now they're the only ones that you could basically buy books from, to an extent, and now they're making profit off of their books. That's the way. That's how Walmart did it. That's how Amazon did it. All you have to, and the reason it worked, in Jeff Bezos' case, is because he had wealthy investors who continued to invest in his product because they knew that the way he was going to make a profit. It's
there's all these tech startups that get a bunch of investment based on their supposed perceived value and the promise that they're going to be somehow important, and they can basically just not bother with figuring out how to turn a profit for years and years and years.
A good example, Netflix still isn't profitable.
Yeah, or things like Twitter and whatnot just straight up don't have monetization strategies half the time, and they just kind of keep existing and growing and getting investments just for going. And it's like essentially Jeff Bezos had that approach to bookstores where they fundamentally reshuffled everything and just kind of didn't actually make a profitable bookstore and outcompete the other bookstores. They just kind of got a bunch of investments based on promises and dreams, and everyone else that actually was working hard got to just go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
And then everyone had to deal with the fact that no one wanted to buy their books because they're getting outcompeted by this company that was basically cheating at selling books. And so that they couldn't turn a profit against this company that was just cheating and beating them because they had different rules than everyone else.
And
that's how most of these systems work.
It's yeah.
And like there aren't really
uh,
uncorrupt aspects of capitalism. Like there's no element where anyone is like there's no industry where the top person is just like ethically behaving.
Yeah, there's no incentive to do that. Yeah, because that's just not how capitalism is built.
I remember was it Stephanie watched a documentary about like chocolate companies?
Oh god, chocolate companies are also equally disgusting.
There was a really funny thing actually where we found out that our favorite chocolate bar is like the most ethical one that's available.
Oh really?
Yeah, because I just randomly found it on a whim, and then I sold her on it because I was like, you gotta check out the sea salt caramel. And like it was so fucking good that like now she's getting all the time, and then we found out like that was the specific brand that is the least shitty chocolate company. It like pays their employees well and doesn't have like weird unethical sources of their materials and whatever. They're just doing it right. It's Tony's Chocolonis. It's Tony's Chocolonis is so good. They have these like giant. They're just these
what
big.
A name.
They're these big they're these big old chunky bars that look like movie props from like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and. Oh god, my pet's dead. Oh god, this quest is actually a little hard.
Also, you're asking why didn't they kill the libraries? They did. It's called Kindle. How many libraries have a Kindle like a Kindle section? They don't. The idea of like moving everything to digital, they don't. They have because you can't rent a Kindle.
I hate this quest so much. No, I think there's like I think there's a rental system for books on your Kindle. I don't think you can rent a Kindle necessarily.
Oh yeah, no, you can rent books on Kindle, but I'm saying that libraries, like public libraries, don't have a Kindle section.
Yeah.
There's not like, oh, all the books you can only find on Amazon Kindle. Like, nope, that's it. That's the way. Yeah, that's like that's why there's such big pushes in gaming right now for passes like Xbox Game Pass or Ubisoft Forward or EA Origins, is because they don't want you to own things, because that's how it continually keeps a revenue stream. It destroys GameStop and other retailers because they don't have a product to sell anymore, because you just pay them directly this monthly fee and you get the games they make, and they can just cut an entire industry out of the process, which, you know, again, I can't argue with,
libraries
because
really an
progress,
industry? Aren't they government?
No, libraries are a government.
They're
I'm just saying
funded,
that.
Yeah.
I just meant that like Amazon didn't have to target libraries because they could do it. Just, you know, like all they have to do is just not like make books. If they don't make physical books, then they easily can just destroy a library. It's not a competition.
I think they just didn't want to deal with libraries because they're not a competitor, because they don't.
Yeah.
Like the people going to libraries aren't spending money in the first place.
That is true.
It's like competing with Pirate Bay. Like as much as people a lot of people like try to spin this whole tale about how there's like these noble internet pirates that are like totally contributing money to the things that they love, and they're just like pirating things to like try them out or whatever. But like I've heard like the whole moralizing tale from so many people that I know personally that pirate shit, and it's always bullshit. They're totally just taking shit and not wanting to pay for anything.
Yeah, if it's a game, I definitely am just pirating it to pirate it. If it's anime or manga, I do buy the manga. Actually, I don't buy what is it? I don't buy One Piece manga that's translated in English, because I only buy a One Piece manga when I'm in Japan, because that money goes directly to Oda, whereas the translated ones have to go to an English company first and then to Oda, and I don't want them to get money. I want Oda to get the money. He deserves it. Like he's the one making the shit. Yeah, like I did that with what is it? There's also another, like a small rom-com that I love, but it just started getting like an English translation. I was like, no, fuck you. I'm gonna buy only from the Japanese source, because that guy is small, starting out, and I love his stuff. And I want him to make the money. I want his manga to be on the top chart in Japan, so other people in Japan buy it, and then he becomes super popular, because it doesn't matter if people in America buy it. It doesn't do anything to the actual industry in Japan. which is frustrating, and I hate it. I hate the American anime industry. It sucks. It's disgusting. Everything about it is scummy. Like, they underpay translators. It's usually just the people who make the product, like the company, like the companies who make the anime, don't get any of the licensing money. It's only the distributor who gets the licensing money from American sources, which is shitty. Like, I want to support I want to support Trigger for making anime, but watching it on Netflix doesn't do that, because, well, for Trigger it's different. They actually publish their stuff that they make, but other companies don't. They go through a distribution.
Trigger makes a lot of original stuff, don't they?
Trigger only makes original stuff.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah.
Like, they just make an anime. It's not an adaptation of anything.
Yeah, but things that make adaptations, they don't, like, the studios themselves don't get money back from the distribution. They only get it from DVD sales, which sucks, because it's like, cool, I watched it legally on Crunchyroll, but now I have to, like, buy the DVDs if I want this company to not go under, because like, the system is so shitty and garbage. But
speaking of Trigger, I'm watching BNA and I'm like 3 episodes in now.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for you.
It's not great.
It's terrible. I hate BNA.
It's not a great show. It's weird. I've had really, like, the whole anthropomorphized animals thing has been, like, for some reason all of those shows have been consistently really good, like, across the board.
Yeah.
So it's actually weirdly shocking when one of them's kind of garbage. Like, there's just some nice visuals here and there, and that's, like, all it has going for it, because the story and characters and, like, pacing are fucky. There's so many moments where somebody's in the middle of, like, a high-speed action thing and then stops to, like, talk a bunch or speak or do, like pause weirdly. I knew I was in trouble from the get-go, because the first action scene of the entire show is that road, like the freeway scene where the Tanuki girl's getting attacked by, like, random, like, evil racist bikers. And
yeah, what a scene, by the way.
Yeah, like, they attack her, and somehow, like, she's running at the speed of a bike, and I was like, what? But then she jumps on the rail on the side of the freeway, and I'm out of the highway or whatever, and she's, like, running on all fours on the rail, and I'm like, why are you going with, they're all on vehicles, why are you going along the road with them? Just jump off.
Right.
Just leave the road. This fucking, like, Prometheus school of running away from things going on here. It's like, just go away. But she sits there and pauses for, like, a shocking long time, and then I think she falls off on accident when that should have been what she did on purpose. And I'm like, this is a thing to watch. But then I, like, hit critical mass of losing my fucking mind when, yeah, like, the wolf is fighting a whole group of not well, they are terrorists basically.
They are terrorists.
But they're not ideological terrorists. They're mercenary terrorists.
Yeah, they're, like, weirdly,
yeah, like, they're
profit terrorists, which is an odd.
They're not like just like shit. They're not like I was trying to type something. They're not like fuck these. They're not like fuck, I hate animal people and I want to kill them all or whatever, even though I am one or whatever. It's like they're like, no, they just took a fucking job, even though it was, like, incredibly incredibly out of their interest, but whatever.
Yeah, it's a
poor choice.
There's so much about that show is like baffling, where you're like, what? Wait, what? Like, yeah, like the beasts who are being contracted by humans who hate beasts to kill beasts. It's like, what the fuck? Are you not this?
It's a poor choice. It's an entire fucking army of Candace Owens apparently. But was it fucing?
But it has a really upbeat OP, so that's one thing. Just clap.
No, I do not like the intro. I don't think the music is good, and the visual
is not selling it for you at all.
No, I don't like the music, and I don't think the visuals are all that great for an intro. Like, there's better visuals in some of the episodes that I've already seen than in the intro. Like, the intro is really just not very great. Yeah, it's definitely no Beastars where the intro is incredible.
Yeah, it's not their best intro. It's definitely not Trigger's best intro by far.
It shows a tough sell. But no, the issue I had was less the weird plot of, like, these people being so, like, self-destructive, and more like the fact that one fight at the end of the first episode has like a minute of exposition between all of its characters where everyone's like actively in a gunfight, and like it's a big very seemingly quick fight is happening right now, but everyone keeps pausing to monologue and explain their ideology and thought process to each other. And it's like, you're threatening the beast man's prosperity and way of life in our city, and I crush people who threaten the beast man, and I'm explaining this, and I kind of explain it 3 times in this one scene, and they're like, we're just evil mercenaries, and we'll just take any job. We don't care if it's against the beast man or humans. We just don't give a fuck. And then they kind of say that 3 times too. But like at the same time, like I'm like, I could edit this fucking fight scene to be better. Like I confidently think I can edit this whole thing, and it mostly involves cutting all the dialogue, like all of the dialogue. Because here's the big thing: at the beginning of the fight scene, Shiro or whatever, is it Shiro or I don't know, the wolf guy, he's on the fucking top of the building, and his weird bullshit super smell sense smells that there's a bunch of human stench on these people. And it's like, okay, so now we know why they're doing what they're doing. That's all we need. Visual storytelling already pulled off the entire scene. Every line of dialogue was superfluous, and it actively makes all the combat worse because they won't shut up and finish and do the fight. And the fight, and among other things, you can't, based on the way that the fight is framed and paced, like, it doesn't have like moments where 2 people with swords like cross swords with each other, and like while they're like grr, grr, doing the whole deadlock thing, they're like arguing about something or like saying their ideology at each other or whatever in that moment. It's like fast-paced crazy combat that has no room for pauses, and they keep pausing to say entire sentences in a row that just do not add to the scene. Because literally just seeing that one wolf like pull his cap down and run away all stealth-like and shit, all suspiciously, and then seeing when the white wolf, when the silver wolf sees the like with the smell, is able to see like the crowd of humans behind them when they're loading the truck, they're like, okay, that's all, I understand everything immediately with no dialogue. But then there's so much dialogue, and I'm like, stop, you're ruining the fight scene. Because it's not just that the dialogue is bad exposition, it's actively pausing the fight scene over and over again to say nothing.
Yeah.
Also in the English dub, you don't care about this, but in the English dub, the same guy plays the secondary canine character in 3 different Netflix animes. In Beastars and Agretzko and BNA, the second most important character, who's like a male like dog guy, is the same person. I'm stretching this definition a little bit because in Beastars, Jack is not that important so far. But Jack, Haida, and Silver Wolf are the same voice actor.
By the way, I want to also point out, to go on top of this, how dumb it is. The main character, or the main wolf character's name is Shiro Okami, which
his last name's literally Okami.
His last name is literally fucking wolf, because in case you weren't aware, kids, he's a wolf. Get it? That's why he's named Okami. And everyone in the show calls him Okami. They don't call him Shiro. The only person who calls him Shiro is
oh my god, it
Michiru.
really is just the word for wolf.
Yes.
Wait, so the game Okami's just called Wolf?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes. It's
maybe the reason why a lot of stuff sounds less cool in English is just because they're not using very cool words in the first place in Japanese. The Japanese words just sound cool, but like they're not using very interesting words. So when you translate their not interesting words into English, you have to deal with the fact that they're saying it. It's like the fucking Rammstein problem.
Yeah.
Every Rammstein song sounds like it was written by a first grader once you say the words in English, because it's like there's so few words and they're really basic, to the point where like 1 year into taking German, I was already able to translate most Rammstein songs I came across.
Are you saying that du hast?
Yeah, you have me. I was like, yeah, you have me. You hate me, maybe, because hast spelled with one S or two S's as two different words, but pronounced the same way. So it could be have or hate. So it's like a tiny bit of wordplay, but like that's like half the song is him just saying that over and over again. So if you say it in English, which I've done before on Rock Band before, like sometimes we'll play a Rammstein song in Rock Band and I'll translate all the lyrics into English, and people will be like, "Stop it, you're ruining it." Because it's like, because I'm like, oh wow, another German song where you count, great. There's so many fucking German songs I've encountered where they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I was like, you're just fucking counting. You're just counting from 1. I can tell.
I mean,
Du hast mich gefahren. Du hast mich gefahren. Buk dich just means bend over. Feuer frei is open fire, but he just says it a lot. Like a lot of Rammstein songs are like a few lyrics repeating over and over again. He does. And it's like 3-word sentences, and then people are just, their entire audience, so much of their audience is just English speakers thinking that German sounds cool.
Oh yeah, that's the only reason I listened to them.
Yeah,
I thought German sounded cool.
They're just German weebs.
German weebs.
Just
Those are
liking
called
the sound
Nazis.
Oh no! Just liking the idea and like the sound of it, and not like ever wanting to absorb it or know what it means. Sometimes it's interesting. Like Hank Green has a video where he translates a bunch of like non-English pop songs that are popular, that have got popular here over the years, from like the Macarena to like Gangnam Style and so on. And then he sings them in English, like he rewrites the songs to have English lyrics that rhyme but still convey the meaning of what the translation is, and then also gives a little context along the way. And it's like, it's kind of interesting to learn what some of them are, but Rammstein is not that. Rammstein is not one of those bands where it's really interesting to see what their lyrics were, because you're like, oh no.
And unfortunately, so wait, how far are you in BNA?
3 episodes.
Okay, so
I got distracted because H-Bomber guy uploaded a 2.5-hour video today.
Oh god, that's a long video.
It's about Ruby.
The cartoon?
The Rooster Teeth show. It's
that's an interesting
it's a
choice.
fucking elaborate video, and in the intro you fucking see Shammy take off by like an owl rocket and crash into a fucking brick wall because he was the script consultant, because Shammy hates Ruby so much. So it's 2 high-profile video essay channels that put a ton of work into their videos and like make really funny video, like really funny.
They put a lot of work into decimating this.
Yeah, like they make because like they always make these really funny, really dense video essays that really reward rewatching. Like I can rewatch H-Bomber guy and Shammy videos more than basically anyone else's videos. So them both just concentrating their force against Ruby had effects.
I need to watch that. I hate Ruby.
I just sat there and watched it all morning. I was like, I was gonna be productive, but I guess I'll make up for it later. Because it's time. An H-Bomber guy, first video since like 8 months ago, I think. His last video was His last video was like a 2-hour video about pathologic.
That's a long time between.
Yeah, that was when a bunch of companies were trying to what do you call it? Like save not companies, not the right thing to call it. A bunch of YouTubers are trying to like concentrate their powers to save Pathologic, because Pathologic 1 is really interesting and Pathologic 2 came out and like improved on it in every way and was like a massive triumph for gaming basically, and in a great success story, until you realize, oh no one bought it. Like there's all these people like making these big video essays about Pathologic 1 and 2 and so on, trying to direct their audiences at it, between like H-Bomber guy and Mandalore Gaming and so on. It's like, it's really sad because the remake how do I put it? The remake basically improved on everything, but it was only 1/3 of the game, because the original Pathologic was 3 campaigns, but they only released 1 campaign because they had to finish the other ones. They were hoping that the funds of the game selling would let them finish doing that. and it did not go well. It's really unfortunate.
Did it ever make it like enough money to do anything, or is it still like?
I still haven't heard any more about it. Like there still hasn't been more campaigns. It's just unfortunate.
That's
like maybe we can direct people towards them now during the pandemic. Maybe people will be more interested in it all of a sudden. I don't know.
Hey guys, you're a bunch of losers with nothing to do.
Here's a game
Go play
about what's kind of
Pathologic.
happening now, but in a way that will terrify you. Because it's a horror game about a plague, and there aren't really like zombies coming at you. It's just the plague that is the horror enemy. It's one of the most creative and interesting and bizarre, unique games I've ever played. The first one has a lot of rough edges, but is really cool. But the second game's just straight up like it's way more approachable. It's not easy or nice to you, but it's way more understandable than the first game was.
Not nice to you.
Pathologic 2
it doesn't hold your hand,
mean.
But it does fuck you.
It holds your hand to lead you to a cliff.
Oh.
Because you know what? Do you know much about Pathologic?
Nope, I have no idea about Pathologic.
So Pathologic is a plague horror RPG, essentially.
Okay.
You have a character, and they have equipment and like an inventory, and you go around and you basically like the game goes on a real-time clock, like in Dead Rising and whatnot. But it's you playing out over the course of like 12 days, where you're trying to save the city and develop a cure in 12 days. And every single day there's X number of like main and side quests across the city, and so you're planning your routes over and over again across the city, also like Dead Rising, where you're trying to make the best of your time and plan a route to accomplish multiple goals at the same time and whatnot, while constantly having your plans shit on by the events of the city, like as the plague spreads and stuff like that. And so you're trying to accomplish all these story things, and like every single quest will have consequences, like based on like what choices you make in the quest, but also whether or not you do it at all, or whether you fail it, and so on.
Okay.
And all the while, you're playing a character that has like 6 survival meters, like in a survival game. So you have hunger and thirst, and you have your immunity, which is how resistant you are to catching the plague, because you can catch the plague.
Oh
and
god.
Then you have like your health and fatigue, because like, so you have to like eat and drink and sleep on a regular basis to keep yourself going, or you can like straight up pass out or die and so on.
So it's kind of like this War of Mine.
Kind of a little bit, but it's a first person pretty immersive game where you have to navigate the city in 3D, and like and while you're playing the game, you're fucking memorizing the layout of these streets, because you're going through them and like actually figuring out optimum paths and where the threats often are and stuff like that. It's so fucking interesting. You're terrible at combat, but it's technically an option. It's like there's like muggers and criminals and things that might come after you, and that you usually want to avoid, but there's benefits to going after them. In particular, because the one character you can play in Pathologic 2 right now is the Haruspex, and he's a surgeon, so he can literally take the organs out of people and sell them on the black market. But doing so is a crime, so you have to like secretly, you have to be secretly harvesting limbs and whatnot, but you can actually sell their organs on the black market for herbs that you then use to make more medicine to cure people. So, like, waste not, want not. It's a morbid, grotesque, distressing story where almost everything is always going wrong, even if you're succeeding at things. Like the consequences of the quests are often stuff not going as planned in the narrative, and it keeps getting worse and worse every day. And to the point where the physical manifestations of the plague start taking over like half the city. Like, the walls are rotting, and there's clouds of pestilence and shit that you're physically trying to go around and avoid, and you're trying to wear protective garments that degrade over time and so on. And every resource, you're literally checking garbage cans and bartering with children to find anything that you can. Like, you'll find shiny thimbles and shit and try to sell them to children for weird medicine items that they've been scrounging up and things, and you're just trying to make you start finding all these weird gameplay loops that allow you to get some of the resources you might need to survive and to save the people you're in charge of.
Okay.
And like they have a list of people that you're trying to keep alive, and there's straight up like a dice roll that happens when they're in plague districts that affects whether or not they'll get sick.
Oh.
And in order to improve the odds, you need to give them immunity boosters. because that increases how much of the meter is their immunity, and like the dice roll will just land on the random part of the meter. So the more of it that's immune, the more likely they're to not get sick. And then once they're sick, there's a dice roll every day that determines whether or not they're going to die. And the part of the meter that kills them gets bigger every time they don't die.
What? Wait a second. What?
It's like the likelihood of dying keeps increasing until they do die. So you just don't want them to be sick in the first place if you can avoid it. But you can get this illness too, and then it becomes this if you get the illness, you have to actively fucking you have to actively monitor your current level of illness and keep suppressing it and pushing it back down with medication. But the medication hurts you. Because it's bad for your body to be consuming these things, and it actively poisons you to an extent. So it's reducing your health, which then leads to other feedback loops. But you need to keep your illness down because it grows exponentially. So any progress keeps escalating the amount of progress it'll make. And when the illness hits certain levels, it just continually drains your health all the time. There's so much fucking going on in the game. It's so fucking interesting. It's like next level. Like. It's some of the next level amounts of like every choice mattering, and like choices you can't even like quantify sometimes, like what path you take through the map, whether or not you choose to like go through plague districts to rob houses, which is like on one level there's the moral aspect, but there's also the aspect of like being at increased risk of catching the plague. So like you're like, okay, where do I go to rob people? I need to rob people, or find places where I can get resources. Do I go into the houses full of people who trust me and rob them blind behind their back as a doctor, or do I go into like the plague districts that are currently in maximum breakout mode, where no one will see me and come after me, but I have this massive chance of being accosted by literal plague clouds that will permanently make my playthrough harder if they catch me? Or do I go to these other areas that the plague has left, where the plague has burned out certain areas and extinguished the life of it essentially, and has moved on from those districts. So now the plague isn't actively killing me there, and there's no like poor civilians to betray, but they're full of violent like criminals that are also trying to loot the place for all that it's worth, and they'll kill you on sight with weapons.
This does not sound great.
And you're like, which of these three options is the best buildings to try to scrounge up resources so I can eat tonight and don't die tomorrow, and so on. Because if you die, you die.
I cannot believe that this isn't doing well. This sounds amazing.
It's a fucking nuts-ass game. And if you fucking die in this game, it permanently... it puts you in a fucking... room where a play is happening, and the play is the events of the game, and it fucking permanently punishes you.
What does that mean?
Like it'll like permanently reduce a dialogue. It'll like permanently remove certain dialogue options, or it'll permanently reduce the length of one of your meters, or this or that, and then just send you back in and respawn you back into the world to try again from your last save. But these penalties are account wide, so the game is built around the idea that you'll save scum and try to like find a new path through the day and fix all the mistakes you made because you fucked up and everything's fucked, and you have to like replay day 7 and try to find a better approach to the whole thing. But the consequences of your failure still come with you when you reload old saves.
Wait a second, that's oh my god, that's mean.
It's an angry game. And yet, not really that overwhelmingly hard. It's stressful. Like, you're making stressed out choices of like, can I do this? Can I save them? Is there a way that we can make this work? If I die again, it's going to make things harder, and so on. But like, I never hit like the kinds of walls I hit in like Souls games or whatnot, where I'm genuinely like, will I ever beat this? It was just like, oh fuck, everything has consequences. Even the stuff that you can save and load out of, like those have consequences. Everything's permanent. It's just a next level game. It's fucking crazy.
Sounds, the idea that it's account-wide failure is really rough to me. That's like, oh god.
Try not to die.
Yeah, like I'm dumb. I'm definitely going to die. And I'm really good at save scumming.
It's such a fucking interesting game. Never has looking at garbage been more compelling. Like just be like, oh god, garbage cans.
That's a statement.
God, there's so many garbage cans here. I need to search them all. Oh fuck, there's so many empty water bowls. I can take them to the water dispensers, fill them all with water and clean water, and I can barter the clean water for bandages, and then I can survive my looting. But then you're like, oh fuck, the water dispenser's plagued. I can't use this one. It gives me plague water. Like
I don't like this picture.
All these insane random things happen over the course of the world, like to the city itself. Like a district that was safe yesterday is plagued today, which means that tomorrow it'll be full of looters. And like there's a cycle of like the plague traveling over the city over and over again in waves and making.
And you're just like trying to avoid it.
Yeah. It's like you want to plan your routes around certain places. Like, do I have a better chance of surviving in looter districts or plague districts? Because the safe districts do not create a bridge from where I am to where I'm trying to go. So I need to figure out which one of these two things I'm going to try to survive my way through. Am I going to like go into thief mode and like try to stealth my way past all these looters and like stick to the shadows, or am I going to like sprint down the middle of this plague district and try to get in and out before it gets me? Because the entire time you're in the plague district, you're constantly eating away at your immunity just for breathing the air there, let alone actually hitting like the concentrated sources of it. So like literal plague clouds come at you like boogie monsters, but at the same time you're also trying to just get in and out of the entire district before it just erodes you away. There's just crazy
the more
things.
you talk about this, the more confused I am about its failure. What part of this is unappealing to people?
And then you'll be in the plague district and you're like, you're trying to run in as fast as possible and all of your shit's degrading. You're like, I need to get in and out as fast as possible. But then you hear a baby cry and you're like, fuck, do I save the baby? Because on one hand, there's a moral aspect of like saving the baby that's in the plague house. But the other hand, delivering babies from plague houses to safety gives you an actual reward that might be worth it even on the selfish level. But it means going into the plague house. Yeah, there's like you're rewarded for saving babies. Like relatively substantially, but it's like the most dangerous thing in the game.
Yeah, that sounds really not great. That sounds like a terrible idea.
And the whole game is a series of like learning the hard way whether or not entire ideas are worth pursuing, of like which avenues are good for surviving and not surviving, and everyone kind of develops their own strategies. Like you can go frolicking out in the fields and collect plants, like a WoW herbalist to help you make your tinctures. Or you can chop up a bunch of people and sell their parts to vendors that already have all the plants in much greater quantities. Or both. or several things in between. Lots of picking up garbage and scrounging through pits and nonsense, because you can use those resources to barter with like children to get different resources that you need. Because the children are just fucking picking up sharp things.
Yeah, because I was gonna say children are like their own merchant system, basically.
And there's like a series of different children that are like there's like girls and boys at different ages, and they want different things. It's like there's certain kids that really want sharp things, and other ones that just want nuts, because they name the nuts and play games with them. Like all the nuts have an identity and a history. So like collecting nuts like has like value to certain children that are of a very young age, but then like other ones want like sharp things, and some of them straight up want guns.
What? Fucking guns? I'm not giving a baby a gun. What the fuck? Like I'm imagining some like 10-year-old is like, yeah, Billy stole my candy once. I'm gonna shoot him in the leg. It's like, Jesus.
Yes.
This is not a good place.
That definitely
to live.
happens.
What?
No, there's multiple quests where someone tries to get you to murder a child.
Fucking wow.
Some of them are from children.
What? Wait a second.
The children have a gang.
The children have a.
Yeah, they all wear dog heads.
We're gonna have to wear. What?
Yeah.
Wait a second. Like real dog heads?
No, like quilt stitched like dog masks.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say we're gonna have some words, because I ain't gonna fucking let no kid.
No, there's a gang of
dogs.
kids that wears dog masks, and they think they're tough shit.
Yeah, well, we're gonna see about that shit.
Look at those games. The game's fucking nuts. It's just fucking nuts.
I like games.
It's something that everyone should play, just because it's everything different. It's everything different. It's the opposite of Ghost of Tsushima, which is just fucking every game you've played before mashed together.
I was gonna say it kind of looks like a weird combination of Sekiro and Dark Souls and a Spider-Man and not GTA, but like Red Dead, where you're kind of just like you're on the move, I guess.
Yeah.
But also random things will happen. Like you'll just be walking around and like time for a samurai encounter, and you're like, what? I don't know. It sold really well, so it must be a good game, is what everyone on the internet has told me.
Yeah, I get frustrated sometimes because I'm playing Ghosts right now, and I'm like, this game has almost no original ideas. Whereas Pathologic was like, I only have original ideas, fuck you!
I'm kind of like, after playing Outer Worlds, I'm kind of in the mood for like sometimes playing moral quandary games.
Oh,
well,
moral
like
games.
I like games that have actual morality to them, where the idea is like, I mean, this could fuck you up if you do this.
One of my peeves in a lot of games is that you'll have the thing where you encounter a poor homeless guy, and they like, would you like to give him $10? And it's like, I have $3 million. like it's just not a moral choice. Like, this is not a risk to me. Like, but like so many games will be like, oh, would you like to be nice and give like a fucking pittance to somebody to be polite or whatever? Whereas like Pathologic is like, no. The Pathologic is constantly like, hey, do you want to use these resources to help other people or save other people that because you are a doctor and you're here to doctor and so on, and these are your people. Are you going to try to help these people? Or are you going to try but like, it's the exact resources you need to survive. And so it's very one-to-one of like every single one of these things you're like panicked over of like whether or not you can make this work and make ends meet day to day. There's all these complicated risk-reward systems. Like there's a whole like regardless of whether or not you're helping random passerbys on the street, you are mandated by the government to show up to the triage center every day, and you have to at least show up every day because you're like one of the only doctors in town. But like you kind of choose how well you do when you're there. But every day, how many people you save, and how well you save them, and so on, and like how well you do at treating them affects how much pay you get the next day. So you can go to this one like police station and get a payment that's like a bunch of like some vouchers and like a bunch of food and like a bunch of stuff that you really do need to survive. But in order to spend these, in order to survive, in order to get these resources that you need to survive, you need to give up other resources that you need to survive, because you have to figure out like, okay, how do I get a supply chain going on so I can mass produce these medicines and stuff that I can treat people with, in order to hit a point where I can then like have enough resources to keep myself alive through all the plague and everything, and keep myself from getting sick, or manage my sickness, while also having the spare that I can give to treat these people at the triage center, so that I can then in turn get paid enough food to make it to the next day and so on, like that kind of stuff. God. It's just like, how much do I give? How much do I invest? And then you can do unethical stuff, like you can fucking you can use the triage center to experiment your drugs that you're trying to develop to cure the plague by experimenting on like live subjects that don't know you're doing it.
Oh no.
So you can experiment on unwilling participants in order to develop the drug that might save everyone. Because you're actively trying to do that over the course of it, and it's all everything's mechanically based. Like there's almost no... what I love about it is that so little of this is like dialogue choices. So much of it,
I do like
so much of it is actions you take and decisions you make with your resources and whatnot.
That is more appealing to me. I don't like stuff that's all done through dialogue, because I don't feel like I really get my option.
The stakes aren't always there too, yeah, because you're just kind of playing paths on a visual novel.
Yeah,
with a bunch of gameplay in between.
There is just, there's a sense of, this isn't me talking, this is the game giving me no other choice. Like a lot of games that have branching storylines suffer a lot from the obviousness of choices that they present, and that bothers me, because I feel like the the entire point, or the entire reason that I'm playing is specifically because I want to play the game in my voice. I want to do things that only I would do. I don't want to like choose an obvious preordained route where it's like, are you gonna say yes to this guy or no? And it's like, well, I mean, I guess yes, but that doesn't mean anything. Whereas if you say, are you gonna save this fucking baby?
It's a literal actual baby that's actually here, and there are both selfish and unselfish reasons to do so.
Yeah,
and also like, many risks and reasons not to save the baby, as opposed to just doing a side quest or not doing a side quest, which is how it's usually framed in games. Like, would you like to do the save the baby quest or ignore the save the baby quest? It's like, no, there's like here's a mechanical thing steeped in reasonings to do it, and several risks that explain why you shouldn't do it, and they're not going to be explained to you on the fly. And like, you're not going to get a fucking pat on the back by like a moral meter that tells you how good you are. You're just going to you're either just going to get the reward for saving the baby, or a baby will be dead and you will have left and ignored the sound.
And that's the thing, is I like the idea that my actions are what is going to reflect on me more than like the things I've said to people, because because everything you do in the game, it costs you resources and, most importantly, time. And it's just going. It's just going. The day is just ending, and when the day ends, the story continues without you. Well, that's not good.
It's like falling out of a car that's just in drive, and it just keeps going. You're like, fuck, I gotta catch up.
Yeah, like that's kind of how that's like one of my big complaints about Outer Worlds, was that it felt like everything I did was pointless, because I even like just actively didn't do anything, and that was the right answer. And I was like, what is this? Like, is this real? Is this real life? I don't, but I like the idea that like I can, if I go and decide to do something, it has an actual consequence to my character in the moment. Whereas instead of just getting the, instead of a meter going up and someone clapping their hands going like, you did a good job. It's like, okay. Instead, something actually happens, like, oh, you did a good thing. Good job. You have the plague. Oh, fuck. like those, I like that. That sounds great.
Oh, fuck.
There's something very unrewarding about me choosing what to do, or like choosing what to say to people, or what what actions to perform based on a quest. Like, that sort of stuff never works for me, because I always end up choosing I feel like I always end up choosing an answer that doesn't mean any. It's like a hollow choice, it's a choice that is predestined to happen no matter what. Whereas with stuff like that, with like the idea that you can just walk into a neighborhood and maybe the dice rolled and a baby spawned, like, that is interesting to me, because that can change the entire story that would have existed otherwise. Like, if I save that baby and I get the plague, that's completely different than what would have happened had that baby never spawned, and that's interesting. So it's really hard to hear people, it's really hard to hear that game isn't doing well with how interesting it sounds. Like, what about it didn't appeal to people, or was it just not enough marketing? Like, what, did they just not?
There's a couple things. Like, one, it's crushingly hard, or at least it feels crushingly hard. Like, you're not really getting a game over where you're forced to start over necessarily. You're just getting punished a lot. And then there's the aspect of, like, it's not really designed to elicit the feeling of fun. Like, it's not an explicitly, like, I found, at least in me, in whatever my brain interprets with this stuff, at least, I didn't find it to be particularly tedious or boring. In fact, I found it thrilling and exciting and, like, stressful and so on.
Yeah.
But like, it's not like wee at any point. Like, nothing about it. It's grim from day one and gets worse in ways oftentimes that you can't even predict. Like, it often would get worse on ways that I didn't even know a game could get worse, like on mechanical levels that were like a distressing, sadistic creativity that I wasn't ready for in many cases. Some of which I've told you, and some of which I haven't. Where I'm just like, oh my fucking god, what?
Some AAA games tend to not be mean to the player.
Yeah.
Because there is somebody that's like, it always feels like there is somebody that playing the game that goes like, nah, I don't like this. You can't do that.
Like by contrast,
like, okay.
Ghost of Tsushima that I'm playing now, like I can die midway through the infiltration of one base, like wiping out all the people in it, like Far Cry style, and I will respawn at a checkpoint where I don't even have to start the whole thing over. Like I did, like a bunch of the dudes are already dead in the checkpoint. Like it saved midway through me fighting one camp, and it's like there just aren't much stakes to failure, so you can just kind of keep going, and like that's often preferable. Whereas Pathologic does some shit. It also has a hell of an art style. One hell of an art style. Although I did have to censor some boobs.
oh no, boobies.
They gave me some boobs to censor. On my first game, no boobs to censor. Second game, a few boobs to censor.
All right. Well, now it's a 5 out of 10. Too many boobs to censor.
Like fuck, I gotta censor boobs.
What a dumb world we live in.
Yep. Yep.
Literally, God forbid you see boobs. That
boobs?
would be.
You can't have girl chest. You only have guy chest. Otherwise, this is illegal.
There's. So I mean, I don't know how frequent. I don't know if you have anything set up to like avoid advertisements, but on my work, sometimes when I'm like on my work profile, I'll watch a YouTube video for something, and there's this fucking ad that every time it always starts with a guy shirtless, and he's like, losing weight is and I'm like, what? Why the fuck do you not have a shirt on? Put your fucking shirt on. Like, I don't know you, dude. Put your shirt on. And
I don't know you.
And it's like an ad on YouTube, so you don't like get any content. You know, it's like, it's not like you clicked on a video with a shirtless dude and you're like, well, this is what you get. You asked for this. It's just out of left field shirtless dude, and that's somehow just perfectly advertisement friendly, acceptable even.
No, it's very one-sided.
Like, what? I don't want to see this dude's nipples. Get the shit out of here.
A lot of these ideas, when you see a lot of these ideas, it's really hard to frame them as anything other than just another way to control women.
Can't show me your boobies.
Like you're basically told that your body is more to be ashamed of than other people's bodies. And there's clear lines that are different between the two sexes of like what you're allowed to show, and it's just like it just leads to that, like just kind of additional gross feelings that you have to hide away, and that there's different standards for you.
You can't let people see boobies, then they're gonna wanna I don't know, see more boobies, and then it turns into a spiral of more boobies seeing, and then kids don't go to school anymore. They just stay home looking at boobies, and that's it. Then you have no more society.
It's like what Seth Rogen thinks about video games.
You mean Joe Rogan?
Joe Rogan, yeah.
I was gonna say, I think Seth Rogen doesn't think much.
It's like we gotta get rid of video games, or it's like reefer madness. It'll just destroy everyone. And then no one's gonna do anything anymore.
I like how most of the comments to him was like, this is Joe's first time learning about a hobby. Like, his description is basically like, I can't believe people play video games. They lead to nothing. It's just a waste of time. You don't make any money doing it. It's like, okay, have you watched a movie? You actively lose money by doing that. Is that not also a waste of time? Listening to your podcast, Joe Rogan, is a free waste of time. Yeah, like there's no money to be made.
He literally makes this form of escapist media and is like discouraging people from engaging in that. It's like, that's a choice you've sort of made.
Like, what?
Interesting call you're making there.
It's just a, I don't know. It goes on the long list of confusing statements made by people doing the thing that they are actively making a statement against. Like, I don't, like, you know, like Ben Shapiro being like facts and logic, and it's like, when have you ever used it? You don't fucking use the very thing you demand people have. Why?
Yeah, he's not a facts and logic kind of guy, despite that being his pinned tweet. Like, facts don't care about your feelings. It's like, that's interesting.
Well, then why, Ben, are you crying about facts all the time?
Sell the houses to who, Ben? Sell the houses to who, Ben?
That's such a great, like,
I bet he Aquaman.
I bet he immediately got blocked on Twitter for making that video. There's no way you could just endure that sort of embarrassment publicly and not do something about it. God, what a great lead in. Just such a, like, just destroying a wall, this tense silence. Tell them to who, Ben? Like, oh no. This man is angry.
And almost all of his arguments involve him inventing an entire scenario, because he always says, like, say that this is happening, and then this is happening, and then this is this and this, and he just invents an entire scenario where he's right. And it's
Ben's
like,
a fucking farmer, dude. That guy has more straw men than anybody I've ever met.
Like, it's interesting how much you have to invent an entire hypothetical scenario to argue your point. Almost like in the past, you know, wrote fiction where it was like masturbatory, like conservative, like propaganda, where you wrote entire scenarios that make your ideology sound good. Like, he has some really fucking cringe ass self-published on he has a lot of really cringy self-published on Amazon, like, fiction, and it's horrible.
Well, yeah, it's made by Ben Shapiro.
Choice.
There's, I don't know, people watch it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, choices were made.
I feel bad. Like, man, you get one life on this planet and you're wasting it on that shit? Fuck.
Yep.
Like, at least I watch anime because it makes me happy. Do you watch Ben Shapiro get angry about the liberals and feel good about that? Like, fuck, man.
I mean, yes. They definitely, there's a smugness that comes with that stuff.
Yeah, I own those liberals, and you look around you and you're like, wait, how come it's not going the way I will like it?
Do you need Severus?
No, I've killed Severus. Do you need Severus?
Yeah, I was gonna kill Severus.
I'll help you kill Severus. Take out Severus.
We also need to get to bed soon. Or head out.
Oh, yeah.
It's already 11.
Yeah, that's true.
I need to use the restroom.
But
honestly, it should just be over probably soon.
I'm at 115. What are you at? 115. Nice. Okay.
There's this incredible video where Ben Shapiro owns himself because he's trying to talk shit about Imagine by John Lennon, but it's set up where John Lennon he's just playing the song and it's like overpowering him. It's so loud and he just sounds like a snide idiot with nothing to say, just trying to like snicker at a smarter person. And like it really clashes so hard because all of like it's like he keeps being like, imagine a world with no borders. Yeah, never happened, never in the history of man. It's easy if you try. like if he fucking like is posthumously destroying him by like having these like he's reacting to Ben as if he's there, but it's a fucking video. It's a fucking song recorded decades ago by a dead man, and it's just the most basic request to think about a different kind of world, and you just seeing this like snide, shitty little man refuse to even engage with the idea on any level every time another like thing to imagine comes up, and it's just like it's just so bad. But all of his fucking feedback is so shitty and shallow that he's like he says really dumb things like saying that the chords are pretentious, which is
what
bizarre to say.
Did they say the same things you're saying? Because otherwise they're not very pretentious.
Like I don't like what makes chords pretentious, but also I'm pretty sure Imagine is played on like really vanilla ass chords. Like I don't think it's a particularly complicated structured music, It's just a piano.
Oh, is that a C chord?
Playing slowly.
Very pretentious.
It's like it's a pretty mellow, chill song.
No one does a sharp F. All right, that's just not how this works.
A sharp F.
How dare?
It's just such a. It's an experience.
It sounds like someone who's never played an instrument before making comments about a song that he could never write himself.
No, he's like a violin player or something.
I certainly haven't seen him do it, so he must not be good at it.
He doesn't present himself very impressively here, like talking shit about John Lennon. Like, maybe your music's bad. Because all your other art is bad. It's like he clearly, because he's so fucking shut off as a person, he clearly has trouble like engaging with people emotionally, and it shows up in his writing because his writing is just fucking distressing.
That sounds. I remember watching what's her name, Jenna something. God, I can't remember her. I feel bad now. I can't remember her last name.
Jenny Nicholson or Jenna Marbles?
Yeah, Jenny Nicholson.
I remember her. Are you talking about trigger warning?
Yeah, I remember her reading, like, trying to read trigger warning, and halfway through the video, I had to, like, just stop and go, like, walk away, because I was like, this is just maddening. Who the fuck would read this? Like, who seriously would fucking
is incredible.
Read this?
That video is so fucking incredible, in part because of the fact that, like, it's mocking liberals and college students and the concepts of trigger warnings and safe spaces, but it fucking stars a veteran that has PTSD, and there's no self-awareness from the author about, like, that's what trigger warnings are for in the first place.
Yeah.
Is to protect people with PTSD, and like he's literally suffering from it and would benefit from that kind of aid, but like his ideology like blocks him from being able to engage with the help that he needs, and it's like, oh my fucking god. What a self-destructive protagonist, but it's supposed to be like fucking porn for their ideology. Like he's supposed to be like the best American ever. It's like, yeah, somebody who's suffering and won't get help. What a great way to live your life.
He can't, Keith. Do you know how we treat veterans in this country? The moment you don't work for the military anymore, fuck you, dude.
Also,
no
like
medical,
they
no
find
money.
out that he's they find out that he's like a veteran, so Antifa just jumps out and beats him up. You know, the college
What?
Antifa chapter that just exists for some reason. They just like come out of the fucking bushes and like attack him for being a veteran at like the beginning of the book. Like,
have like a swastika in his hand? What was he doing?
There just is Antifa, and they're here to beat you up because Antifa are, of course, terrorists. And they
That's not how that works.
And they attack veterans for being veterans.
What?
Oh, that was a trip.
Holy shit.
No, Jay Nicholson's newest video is a fucking trip.
Oh god.
It's diving into bronies.
Oh, I did watch that. Yeah, that was fantastic.
And then the reveals she has along the way about herself, and I was like, oh my god.
I love the fact that she was like, someone went to a con and pretended to be me. I was like, someone pretended to be? That's that's next level. Like, holy shit. I believe that, though.
And then she's just casually saying like, oh yeah, I don't talk about this much, but I created one of the most viral pieces of pony content ever. I'm like, fucking what? Wait. And like, she said to watch the wedding episode, so I did. And it was actually really entertaining. It's distressing, like it's horrifying, because they write one of the characters as being this horrible, manipulative person that's trying to sleep with her brother. Like one of the main ponies is trying to sleep with her brother, and there's the entire episode is jokes related to that, and it's distressing. And she's actively like this horrible, manipulative, sabotaging person that is like Machiavellian in their behavior and has serious complexes, and the comedy is just surprisingly good, but also like there's musical numbers that are original to the parody. Like,
yeah,
Jesus.
She sings them, right?
Yeah, and it's like, Jesus fucking Christ, this is elaborate. This is like beyond what Red vs. Blue did. I'm shocked by this. But yeah, it's time to go. I'm I'm back at the town area. We made our Hearthstone spot, and I'm gonna log out here. So good night,
Sounds good.
everybody.